Hello and welcome to the latest edition of Maidencast. I don't know if that just kicked in or not. Did that just kick in halfway through the sentence?
No.
If it did, hello, welcome to Maidencast.
Or it'd be something else to show why this is another one of them shows that's not meant to happen.
Yes, we was meant to record last night, but we couldn't because Luke had a sore pussy. But he took his pussy to the vet, and his pussy is now on the mend. So.
Yeah. Fucking 1,300 quid, mate.
Have you got insurance?
Pounds. Yeah, but it's fucking not covered because it's ongoing condition. So yes, I love cats. I love my cats, but he's a wanker.
Why doesn't the insurance cover what's?
It's a pre-existing condition. They paid out for it a couple of times, and they're like, right, no, done, forget it.
Oh God.
Yeah. Insurance, mate. It's the fucking game to be in. Yeah,
I know. I guess at that point, you're better off just putting money aside yourself, yeah? Because the amount of money you spend throughout the year, that's gone. Just if you do it, it's saved.
Yeah. But whatever you save ain't enough. The best thing to do is just fucking have a credit card spare that you can do a balance transfer on and, that is it.
Right. So. Where are we on the long list of the Maiden canon? We are back with Iron Maiden.
1995.
They have gone through their audition tapes and they have settled on a singer. Now, it was between. Do you know who it was between? They whittled it down to two.
Yeah, the other one was? Fucking hell, you read so many. I mean, old matey boy from Halloween was supposed to be there at one point, wasn't he?
That was a phone call from Rod and... nothing more than that. It never went any further. But he was also managing Halloween at the time as well. So
yeah.
But yeah, no. Apparently, I'd love to have known because apparently they had thousands of tapes. Tapes.
Yeah, all about tapes. Yeah.
But no, it was whittled. It was down. It was looking at. They actually phoned Blaze Bayley and offered it to him. Apparently.
Yeah, because Wolfsbane toured with him, didn't he?
Yeah.
Was it on No Prayer tour or was it during Fear of the Dark tour? I can't remember.
I think it was during the No Prayer tour, and they Wolfsbane were about to release a new album, so Blaze went, "Look, thanks, but no thanks." In fact, shall we have a read? Where is it? Oh, I was going to go into why into Bruce leaving, but did we cover that with the last?
No, I don't think we did. Well, we covered so much shit, didn't we?
Well, apparently they were talking about giving up altogether, and it was actually Dave Murray of all people, God bless him, that actually shook Steve out of it and went, "No, like you formed this band. This band was going for 8 years before he came along. Like we're gonna," and we're all really down, Steve especially. And we even talk about packing it in, said the guitarist. But after a few beers, you know what it's like. The old bravado comes back and we're all sitting around talking. It was probably the first real long, serious talk the four of us had together in ages. And I can't remember what was being said. But I suddenly just got fed up talking about it and went, "Look, why the fuck should we give up just because he is? Bollocks to him. Why should he stop us playing?" I hadn't really thought about it, but it came out. But everybody just sort of went, "Yeah, fuck that." I've never heard Dave Murray swear so much.
I know, it's crazy. He must be
made a few words, but when he comes out, and the whole mood changed, and we had a few more drinks and started having a laugh again. Look, I've got post-it notes and everything. You think I can find what I actually? Anyway, so Blaze said, "Look, I've got an album coming out. Wolfsbane are my boys. I think they were all schoolmates." He went, "I can't do that to them, but thank you, but no thanks." He said, "I regret."
Fair play to him, actually.
And he went, "And I regretted it as soon as I put the phone down."
Yeah.
And it pretty much came to Wolfsbane had run out of steam. That apparently he did what he had to do, and he rang Steve up and said, "Look, is the job still going?" And he went, "Yeah." So he did audition. But yeah, it was down to Dougie.
The geezer went to do Rainbow, didn't he?
Yeah, went on to do Rainbow. Yingmi Malmsteen, whatever France's name is.
Yeah.
I can never pronounce that guy's name. I want to say Dougie White, but something's telling me.
Dougie White.
Yeah. Tank. It was in a band called Empire. Well, put it this way: he was with Yingmi.
Malmsteen.
I don't fucking eat donuts. And who works with him? Tim Owens. And he was also in a band called Empire, who 2 of their albums, Tony Martin from Black Sabbath sung on. So you see a bit of a recurring theme here. He's up there with those singers that everyone hires when the main guy's gone. Apparently they'd recorded a few. I don't know if they recorded demos with him. I think they recorded tracks with him singing,
Yeah.
But apparently it was Nico that went, no, look, listen to this. And then they played the Blaze tape and went, listen to that. He went, that sounds like Maiden. So, and that's when they offered it to Blaze. Now, I've read elsewhere, and I heard this in an interview, that Blaze went to Steve's house where he's got a studio in his garden.
Barnyard Studios.
And they gave him 10 songs and went, right, do them. Apparently they opened with Iron Maiden because that was the obvious one. You're going to be playing that every night.
Yeah.
So you can't nail that one. Forget it.
That's it.
And now I've never found out what these 10 songs were, but it was 10 Maiden canon songs. And it was like, first things first, what are you like singing the original songs? What are you like singing what we've got? And then we'll move on to write. And Blaze, I'm paraphrasing here, not directly quoting him, but he said, basically, I went in there with the attitude of, for the next hour, I am in Iron Maiden. This is,
have the fucking time of my life.
This is my Jim will fix it moment. Yes. I am with Maiden and I'm just going to enjoy it and I'm just going to have a gig with Maiden and I'll be happy that I just did that. Anyway, so they've done that, gone through the 10 songs. He reckons it was loud as fuck and it was taped. So then they listened to it back. And he was sitting with Steve at the mixing desk. He went, listen, is there any chance I can have a copy of this tape? And he went, like, whether or not, if I don't get the job or if I do get the job, either way, can I have a copy of this tape? And he went, no, if you don't get the job, I'll send you a copy of the tape you did get the job.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. So I don't know if this is when he joined the band or when this was the audition, but apparently he pulled up outside, walked into the house, shook Steve's hand, and all of a sudden there was this proper rancid smell of shit. And what he didn't realise was he'd actually stepped in dog shit in his front garden and walked it into the house.
Fucking hell, walked into his mansion.
Steve, apparently he's got a load of Rottweilers.
Oh, right.
So, yeah, where we go?
Like Mr. Burns, he released them at that point to chase Blaze out of the fucking premises.
So, yeah, Blaze got the job. Now, I don't know if we should cover this later. I think maybe after Virtual 11, maybe talk about, I think that'd be a good discussion of why things didn't work out with Blaze and what maybe could have changed.
It's a natural point there, I think, yeah.
But I do want to come back to that audition tape because a lot of people go, yeah, Blaze's stuff was all right, but he struggled to sing the other eras live. So, well, my question is, well, he must have done it all right then.
Yeah, but the thing is with that, they had to blow out a lot of the tour, didn't they? That and the Virtual 11 tour because his voice got fucked up.
Yeah, that's another sort of reaction. They say he's gone from doing maybe like an hour's like
singing Wolfsbane, which was punky, just have a bit of fun, to singing some of the fucking finest
200 2-hour shows in a row.
Yeah, some of the finest melodies that the genre's ever fucking churned out.
Yeah. So there is that does come into it. Maybe he was thrown in the deep end a bit too quick.
Big time.
And I suppose if you just one take, you got 10 songs, going for your life, just going for it. Yeah, he probably would have.
And he was slaughtered by the fucking press, the metal press as well. It was like Maiden got who? Oh,
was that the reaction?
Wolfsbane, but it was fucking Metal Hammer. I actually made a point of reading it. I read it because it made my blood boil when I read it again. It's Malcolm Dome posted it when I went to the listening party.
Oh, I've read that article. Yeah.
Party, and they were talking about Blaze chuffing Bailey. You know, it's like you're such a bunch of fucking elitist pricks. You know, it's like he's not good enough to sing for Maiden. That's bollocks. You know, look at Paul Di'Anno come from the same sort of fucking background as Blaze did, and the fucking, you know, these up and coming bands, and being a bit of a Jack the Lad and all the rest of it. Yet Paul Di'Anno's revered, yet Blaze Bailey gets slaughtered. It's fucking scandalous.
Yeah. I remember reading that article actually, and thinking, you know, for one of the sort of Premier League music journalists, one of the most recognised, he was really dismissive, and he didn't seem
gutter press, wasn't it? It was like,
he didn't seem very remorseful either.
No, he didn't.
What he said at the time.
No, it's a fucking joke, and you know, it's part of what gets my goat about the entire deal the X Factor got. You know, it's shit because Bruce ain't on it. It's Maiden is shit. It's shit. I'm not even listening to it because it's shit. Fuck off. You know, it's just total fucking nonsense. It's the equivalent of what you get now with just haters and trolls on the internet who just fucking go on just to diss something just for the sake of dissing it. And that started back in 1995 with this. And let's not fuck about it. That's why they wrote Virus, because of backlash like this.
Really? Did you think?
That's what the lyrics are about. That we'll get into that obviously on the next one. Yeah. When we get there, because it was written after this cycle, so it comes in with the Virtual 11 sessions. But yeah, it was written. It was an attack. It was an attack on the press because they had
about you know, the elitist class thinking they can roll over us.
They were having a little dig back at the press.
Oh, I thought it predicted 2020.
Right, so as well.
Yeah. So apparently they didn't write anything. They had nothing.
I thought that was pretty cool. They wanted to go in with a clean slate for the new singer, which was good.
Slate. And
let's face it makes sense as well, doesn't it? Because if you're writing stuff, you don't know what sort of voice is going to be singing it. You could write an album's worth of material and have to fucking scrap it all because it don't work.
Yeah.
So it's just common sense.
What they did as well, they pretty much took a year off as well. They spent a year writing, and there was a delay of the album being released.
This was the longest. This broke the cycle of the 2 years. They'd gone from a year at the early part of their career. They went out to 2 years. This was the first 3-year cycle.
Another thing between the whole, how comes he smashed it on a demo but then struggled to sing live? Blaze apparently had a motorbike accident and broke his leg. Yeah, and he took that actually delayed the album release.
Yeah,
apparently.
It did. I remember that.
So during that time, he wasn't exactly going to be doing vocal lessons in the hospital or with his leg cast.
I was all over this at this time because this was my first new Maiden album. I'd recently got into metal big, and my first obviously album was Fear of the Dark that I bought. But I was just hoovering up every bit of press I could get for Maiden, the status of the new album, because this was the one. This was like, fuck, Maiden.
So was you were there? Did you read the Kerrang? And it was there?
Yeah, I was there, mate.
That's the new singer.
In fact,
and what was your reaction when you saw that?
Well, I fucking hate it because, little tidbit for you, I was one of the first people in the world to hear the album. Maiden fan club convention. They used to do them every so often.
So were you at that same party that Malcolm Dome was at?
No. They did the press parties, but this was for fucking people who actually not press lovies. This was for fans, like the fan club, the hardcore of the core. And it was at the LA2. Rest in peace. They just fucking had the convention in there. It was just a place normally just for the fan club members just to hang out and have a few beers and all the rest of it. But this time they were like, right, no, something special for you. We're going to play you the X Factor. We're going to play you the new album. You're going to hear it before anyone else. And I remember it. It was just in the LA2. We was all just sat on the floor. We had a fucking bit of A4 paper with the track list printed on it. And for the next hour and fucking 10 minutes, we had the LA2 sound system blowing the fucking album out. And it was one of the greatest days of my life. Because I went there with my boy Andrew, because we could bring a +1. And me and him were we were the only two, like I've mentioned him before.
Andrew, I've met him. He was at your...
Yeah, he's my metal boy. And we went up to London. It was a fucking dreadful day. It was all drizzly and shitty, and it was about a month before the album came out. It was October 1995, and we queued up outside with all the Gumbies because we were about the youngest. We was both 16. I think the fucking youngest person in the queue was about 40, and just got there, and it was one of the greatest fucking days of my life because I heard this album in such an immense
You
sound.
was anticipating like the second coming.
Oh, it was, and I was so excited, and it matched every fucking expectation I had. And I remember it vividly because the one thing I remember drawing away from it was how awesome the solo in Look for the Truth was. It's only after getting the album I realised it was the solo in the Aftermath, and they got the track listing round the wrong way on the print-offs.
I was going to ask you that. Was the track list the same?
Yeah, it was. They typed it. Yeah,
you know, like when they go like a test screening, and all of a sudden they change the end.
Across, down to the Unbeliever in the order, but they've written it round the wrong way on the thing because I thought, fucking hell, the solo and Look for the Truth was awesome. And then when I heard Look for the Truth, it's like, hang about, this ain't it. Yeah. And then I realised they got the tracks round the wrong way. But yeah, interesting factoid.
Did they play the B-sides as well?
No, they were kept for obviously the when the singles come out or when Man on the Edge come out. But that's why I've had such an affinity with this album, because I was one of the first people to hear it on planet Earth, and it's in there, special bond with it.
Yeah. I mean, me, my experience was I was just getting in. I've told the story. I was always intrigued by Iron Maiden, but didn't actually hear them till later on in life. I was intrigued by the album covers and wanted to hear them, and it was just like, no, you don't want that, you know. And it wasn't until I started buying my own records, and this was around the time that Brave New World came out. Or no, it was big news in Kerrang that Bruce was back in the band, and so I read this article and got the story of Maiden, sort of thing. So I started buying. I think I bought Best of the Beast first, and then I got Brave New World, and then I filled in the gaps, and I think it was it was one of the last albums I got, and the reason was there was a Kerrang special. It was a big thick thing. I don't remember throwing it out, but I'm fucked if I can find it. But it was basically a collection of Kerrang articles that told the story, like chronological.
Yeah.
Anyway, and there's a section. Well,
I think I had that actually. I had that. Yeah.
It's got a gold banner and a picture of Bruce.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know where mine's gone either.
Yeah, I remember reading it at work, and one of the guys, because I was the youngest, I was always fucking the butt of the jokes. It was like, oh right, you're reading a magazine with a bloke with his legs wearing spandex with his legs spread. Like, healthy there, Joe. And but yeah, so they would have a couple of articles for the classic albums, the same Number of the Beast. That'd have like a whole article. But then it went the rest of the albums, and it was kind of, it went chronologically through them. And X Factor and Verse 11 had like 2.
Yeah.
And at the time, I thought, oh, well. And all I heard was Man of the Edge on Best of the Beast, because it was just one song with Blaze, and Virus. And just never bothered, because I thought, anyway, more and more intrigued, and I was getting into Maiden. And I remember I just thought, well, I'm going to get the first album and see what it's like. Because I thought, how bad can it be, for God's sake? And now, I wouldn't say I didn't like the album, but it was sort of, you think the first track is Sign of the Cross. It was like, wow, that's pretty, it kind of, I was sort of digesting it track by track and going sort of, it's a bit like a computer game. You have to get through the levels.
Yeah.
And it took me a couple of years to really just fully digest it, and it kind of became an album that I'm still not quite sure what I fully think of it, but it's an interesting album to play if I just fancy something different. Do you ever have that album with any band where it's the one you listen to the least? So when you fancy something different, that you get to that one, but then you end up liking it the more because it's the one that's a bit different. And then over time,
I can't say I've ever read that thing. I'll latch on to stuff, and I appreciate hearing you come from it that way, because I can't really get my head around that.
Yeah, let me turn this off. It's fucking bleeping. Yeah, I've got some of my favourite albums by a band is an album like that. So it's like that's my least favourite one, or one I listen to the least. But then I'm sick of this one. I'm sick of listening to them, so I'll go for that one because I fancy listening to them, but I don't fancy listening to Rain in Blood for the millionth time.
Yeah.
So I'll check that one out. I ain't heard that. Is that as good as I remember it? I ain't heard that. And then you start discovering some gems, and you go, oh, right. But then over time, that becomes your favourite one, and that's basically what I don't know what happened, but for some reason, it was around this time of year as well. I always seem to listen to this album at this point in time of the year, and over time, it just like I just really got into liking it, and then I got more intrigued by Blaze, and I started buying his solo albums. And there was a time where it was just like, I fucking love this album. I don't get why everyone hates it. Granted, you got to spend a bit of time with it. And then one of my key points, I thought, well, take Bruce and Blaze out of it. The reason that everything this gets slagged off for is exactly what A Matter of Life and Death gets praised for.
Yes. Yes. It's A Matter of Life and Death. Yeah, they are twins, aren't they, them albums?
Yeah, and so I remember as well. So I used to listen to this album, and I always made a point of listening to it in full. There is something about this album that separates it, I think, from the rest of the catalogue. And you have to kind of spend some time with this album, and I have to put time aside. It's like watching a particular epic film.
Yeah,
Lord of the Rings, Godfather, Apocalypse Now, which we're going to just. Yeah. If you're going to watch Apocalypse Now, say.
Ironic, you say Apocalypse Now, obviously considering the song matter.
Yeah, no, that's probably what made me jump. But you're not just going to put on Apocalypse Now.
No, you need to spend time with it, don't you? It's not.
That's not a casual film. It's not an action film. It's not saying you. And if you've got to be in the mood to watch it because that is a deep film. That is a journey. And it's not The Evil Dead 2. That's what I'm saying. There's fun films where you just want to Friday night and relax, and then there's like, no, I'm gonna, and it's a thick book. It's a book. No, I'm gonna take time to digest this. So it's like, what one am I gonna read? Well, you got that thick book that's that's gonna take a while. So I'm gonna read this light-hearted one first.
Yeah.
And so you're gonna build it up. And you're gonna go, right, I'm in the mood for that film, but I know it's a long film and I know it's a deep film, so I'm going to save it for that night.
Yeah.
So Friday night, next week when I'm not doing nothing.
That's it. Yeah.
The kids are out, or the thing. I've got the telly to myself and I am watching that, and that's how I feel about the X Factor. It's not an album I put out often. It's saved for special occasions, and I really got into Blaze's solo albums. And again, and we'll get into that later, but I think his solo albums are one of the most underrated back catalogues in metal. And do you know what's really fucking annoys me? When Blaze Bayley dies, and I hope that's not for a very long time, but all of a sudden they're all going to fucking come out of the woodwork.
Yeah.
About how underrated he was.
They will.
And I'm going to go, fuck you. When I was watching him in a pub?
Yeah.
And anyway, so I went to see him at the Underworld, and I didn't know if he was going to. I want to see Blaze Bayley, and I didn't know if he was going to play Maiden or if he was going to play his own stuff. And yeah, luckily he played a pretty balanced set of both. He didn't do
he tends to do that, doesn't he? He obviously he'll have his special sets, but generally what I've seen, because like I say, I've only seen him once, and that was fairly recently. In fact, that was the last live gig I was allowed to go to.
Yeah.
But yeah, he does seem to play a bit of everything.
That was a special occasion, and he'd only started doing that recently, where he actually started putting it aside.
It was a festival thing, wasn't it? Only, but he busted it out for a Burfest.
Yeah, and also he did Silicon Messiah at a festival as well in full, and I reckon he could tour doing that, but he just did it as one show.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we open with The Brave. Straight into Future Real. Couple of new songs. And then he, one thing as well with Blaze. Blaze is like Blaze could fucking make a living as a motivational speaker.
Yeah, he does. Like when he at Burfest, he was fucking proper on it.
He was at the Underworld going. He was like, I grew up on a council estate with a single mother, and I ended up, and I had a dream, and I went out there and I did it, and I sang in the biggest metal band in the world, and then I lost it all, and I built it up again. Don't ever let anyone tell you what you can and can't do, and you say no. You know, he goes. And tomorrow, I want you to go to work, and I want you to feel great, and I want you to release all that tension you've got. You know, he gives it all. Right, gives it. So we're in the Underworld, and he does look for the truth. And I fucking, you know, like if you ever just heard a song that you're like, yeah, that's a good song, but you see a band do it live, and all of a sudden, all just clicks into place. And it was heavier as well in the Underworld, and with us, you know. It's all just compact.
Yes,
And during that chorus, though, whoa, he's getting the crowd to do that bit, and it was like being in a football arena. And then straight at the end of that, he goes into Virus. And and that song to this day has never been played by Maiden.
No.
And I always thought that was an underrated Maiden track.
Yeah, I mean, it was a throwaway one for him, wasn't it? It was put something on the greatest hits.
Well, when we get into it, that orchestral bit at the end, fantastic. But he obviously has to scale the song down a little bit, and during the choir giving it that was again he gets the crowd to do. But yeah, fucking brilliant. And I just think this guy gets the fucking flack this bloke gets.
It does. It's disgraceful.
Yeah.
You know, for you know what.
For not being Bruce Dickinson.
Not being Bruce Dickinson, yeah. You know, it's fucking laughable.
So I think any further ado.
Let's so
with a half-hour intro.
Well, I think we haven't even covered obviously the artwork, the title, the X Factor. You know, it's the 10th album. They've said themselves.
I've got a normal edition. I've got the Japanese edition with all the B-sides on the second disc, which was signed by Blaze. But this week, I've mostly been listening to the 2015 remaster.
Digipack.
And you've got...
So where does that go? Has that got the booklet with the alternate artwork? Because I was going to say, because the original CD, you flip the booklet over.
Yeah, you got that.
That's it, yeah.
So the booklet's pretty much the same, actually. The only difference is on the inside of this one, you didn't get this with the original CD, you get this photo.
Oh, right, yeah, cool.
And that's about it. I've got the Man on the Edge, part 1 and part 2, because you got an interview with Blaze on that.
Yep, you did. You got the vinyl.
Let's not get carried away, Luke.
I did, because that's the only way you got all three B-sides.
Oh, really? So part 3 of
They did Judgment Day on the Digipack, I think. They did Justice of the Peace on the other version, and they did I Live My Way was on the picture disc only. Well, and the picture disc had a new picture of Eddie. He was laying down and it was dark. So you had 3 different bits of the artwork.
Have you still got it?
No, it went a long time ago. Don't even go there, son. But yeah, the three singles, they gave you a little different bit of the artwork, like to piece together. You got close-ups, or you got side views, or you got all this.
Yeah, but, and 3 parts of an interview. So I've got 2 parts of that interview.
So
first time we get a real Eddie. Well, the only time we get a real.
Well,
Eddie.
yeah, and this was Dave Murray's idea. Apparently, he was sort of bored of the cartoony Derek Riggs era. I know it moved out to Make Your Boy on Fear of the Dark, but he was bored of the cartoony. He wanted to bring it front and centre. Probably having listened to the song lyrics and the vibe of the album, he probably thought, right, fuck it, let's do it. And they got Hugh Syme, who's been around the fucking block, to say the least. And he also did another one, and I love this album cover. It gets a battering, but I think it's awesome.
Yeah, wrong with it. I think
He also did another one.
But...
He also did another one of my favourite album covers. He did Euthanasia for Megadeth.
Yeah.
And that is awesome. But I mean, he did fucking Bon Jovi, New Jersey. He's done so much. Just random, eclectic shit.
That's probably a bit more apparent as well on that.
Yes, the background.
The sky.
Yeah, with the on the rolling hills on Euthanasia. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But there must have been some budget behind that, especially at the time as well.
Yeah.
It's got some special effects guy or something.
In fact, I had that hand painted onto a leather jacket.
I suppose you gave that away as well, didn't you?
That's in the wardrobe, mate.
Really?
Yeah. Do you want me to go and get it?
Yeah.
Hand
Is it
painted.
easy to get hold of?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
God, you've got to get it. You've got to go get it. So it goes without saying while Luke goes away that this is going to be a X Factor appreciation fest, which I'm more than happy to do because I do think this album gets a lot of unfair press, and I think more people should listen to it, especially Maiden fans. It seems to be neglected by a lot of people, but the tide seems to be turning bit by bit. Oh yeah, that's hand painted.
Hand painted.
Why have you never worn that to a Maiden?
I used to wear that all the time, mate. But obviously, as you know, my taste changed and stuff. But that is hand painted. My mum got it for me for birthday, and yeah, it's a beast, mate. Bit of wear and tear on it now because it's been in the wardrobe for a while. But that was talking 26 years old.
And
there's a cat. Not the expensive one.
Not the expensive. Right. Anything else to add before we get into it? Half hour in.
Yeah. But no, I mean that's how much the album affected me though. That I wanted that artwork. All them Eddies. It's that one. It was my first Maiden album, like my first new Maiden album where I was there. And
try getting an X Factor t-shirt. In fact, the Iron Maiden official store did X Factor and Virtual 11 t-shirts and sold out like that.
Yeah.
Surely that must say something.
Yeah, it tells you something, doesn't it? You know? But no, it's a fucking red-headed stepchild, mate. It's an era that no one talks about, and everyone's sort of, under the rug, we go with that, and it's bollocks. As we're going to find out when we go for the album. The latest tour as well, the Legacy of the Beast, when they do Sign of the Cross, the background on that. Oh. Why ain't that been put into a t-shirt either? Yeah. They had all the different backgrounds been put on a t-shirt, but that one hasn't. Yeah. Why? I know. But, and it tells you something that Sign of the Cross, that is the centrepiece of that tour. Yeah. Everything else and everything after, fucking Sign of the Cross, and it makes it. And let's go into it. Track one. What a ballsy way to start an album for Maiden. They're renowned for obviously their fast-paced, upbeat, fucking Maiden songs. Yeah, motorbike through the doors, burst open, in we go. And you hadn't even got a fucking note until about 1 minute 20. Yeah. So you've got there's a book called The Name of the Rose, isn't there? Yeah, it's a film, Sean Connery film. Yeah, I've heard that film's shit though. Yeah, I never saw it, but obviously but I've heard the book's really good. And the irony of everyone saying, "Oh, Maiden really they got rid of they didn't do their own influences. They they moved on, tried different stuff." This is a song written about a book or written about a film. What Maiden do all the time. Yeah. So what's different? I think as much as funny enough, there was a guy as well called Maiden Slave. I used to watch him a few years ago where he went through the whole catalogue and he kind of said, "Look, if you don't like this album, you're not an Iron Maiden fan. You're a Bruce fan." Fucking boom, have that. And he has a good point. And he actually gave the album a 10 out of 10. And that was like and he said it right at the end. He went, "I'll give this album 10 out of 10.
And then
mic
he just
drop.
And then he just walks off.
Yeah, mic drop. See ya.
And he builds it up. Went, look, now this is going to be controversial. This is going to be a thing, but and then just I'm going to give it 10 out of 10.
Boom.
And then just walked off the camera, and then it just went black. But
that's it. And all the people screaming at the screen, going, "Oh, bastard!"
He did it in, just candle lit as well. Everything else was like, "Yay, my Maiden!" Da-da-da. And this one was all dark. So, but yeah, so we open up with the. There was a video I wanted to show you. Actually, I forgot to send it to you, but it was about monks. The monks.
Yeah.
I don't know how to put it really. It was basically saying before we paint paintings on paper and we always paint on canvases, and music is the canvas is silence and we paint on it. But before we had instruments, people were choirs, and you've got that whole there's a lot of it used in the Lord of Rings as well. The thingy choir, and the thingy of monks doing the and he basically just said about the significance of that, and like when you listen to that is like some of the fucking oldest music ever.
Yeah, and it's ain't been funny. It's some of the heaviest music as well. When you listen to that, it's like just fucking baritone, fucking make Barry White sound like a teenager whose voice hadn't dropped yet. It's proper deep.
I mean, we watched one before the lockdown. Me and Andy went to see a band called Batushka or something like that, from a black metal band from Russia.
Yeah.
And they come out like a monks, and there's about 8 of them on vocals. So you've got the band, and they had like an altar and everything. They come out, light candles, and with this like choir music playing, and then all come out, all in robes. That none of them, you never see any of their faces, and all the vocalists were like, in this. I think you had one like doing the old now and then, but even still, it was just you never saw any of them. And then at the end, one by one, they all walked off, and then he got the old candle thing, when they put the thing over the candle to put them out.
Yeah.
Did that, and then just walked off. It was fucking cool.
Yeah.
I bumped into someone who's a metalhead, but funny enough, is an altar boy, like fully fledged Christian.
Fuck you know.
And he was saying the Mary with the face carved out, and that he went basically of all the satanic bands going, this band are actually blasphemous because of the way they've desecrated all these artworks.
Oh, right.
And the attire was based on Orthodox monks that are based in Russia. So basically, what they do, they could pretty much get shot for, I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's like so for all your Satan and all that.
Yeah, all that.
It was like, no, this is actually fucking pretty blasphemous.
Legit, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, digression. So we've not even got into the first note yet.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean,
we've got
say, minute 20. Oh, just as a side note.
Yeah.
I played this album every day for a year, right?
Yes, that's.
Didn't miss, but purely it used to wake me up because I had it on in my bedroom. You fucking got the old 5-disc changer. The only disc that was in there was the X Factor, and this used to wake me up because it was a nice way to wake up in the morning. You have the chanting and all the rest of it. Then you got a bit of time to get up before the music kicks in, and this actually got replaced with the Great Southern Trendkill. And that's a completely different way to wake up in the morning.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah, that's a bit.
Fuck hell. But yeah, so yeah, nice, mean and moody way to build up. Quite ballsy actually, because nothing like Maiden have ever done before.
Yeah, they definitely took a stand by opening the album with this track. I'm not sure if it was.
In hindsight, was it the right choice? Possibly not.
Possibly not. No. I'll get into.
Yeah.
I think there's ways this album can be corrected and made a bit more accessible for people.
Rejigging the track list a bit.
But I think we'll do that.
That's subjective, but no, it was a statement, wasn't it? It was like, no, we're doing this.
Yeah, so
we're doing it.
And I don't know really what the song's about, but I don't think it really matters. I mean, there's something about the Crusades.
Yeah, I've never actually
something to do with
it's,
the
it's all
something of the dark. Yeah, I don't know.
Religious.
Yeah, some sort of religious war I see, and to me it just opens up on like a picture like a war. A war is finished, so it's like a battleground covered in bodies, but it's night and it's all misty, and so just that you just see the mist and that you know.
Nice. Makes the old fucking hairs on the back of my neck though. Just
and again, this is the new singer, and his opening thing is just that's that whispered.
Yeah, you know? That's it. Not even sung, is it? It's just spoken, and it's
I mean, come to wash my sins away. There's a lot of religious imagery and a lot of undertones. Well, not even undertones. Sometimes it's blatantly in your face.
Steve has always been that way. He's always been a questioner, and he always talked about religion and all the rest of it.
Yeah, and again, the introduction.
It's still more build up on the build up, isn't it?
And even just that lick of the guitar.
Oh yeah, just the clean picking, and it's
and it's just the tension, and then just
it's awesome.
Standing alone in the window,
and it like a fucking headshot straight in.
When it does kick in, it's like, right, we're here. But I've got to admit, it is heavier on the way they do it now, especially in Rock in Rio when it kicks in.
Let's not talk about.
They missed a bit of a trick there.
You got 3 guitars for one.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Fair enough.
Also, this is Steve Harris' time in the sun. The production for his guitars, especially on this album, wasn't quite there, but they were a bit low, not low in the mix, but they weren't as heavy as they could have been. But
yes, that is one of my biggest criticisms of this album.
What I will say about this album is it's heavy for an entirely different reason. For the first time in 15 years, 16 years if you include the EP, you can hear drums. I'm not on about drums just in the background where drums should be. You got drums, you got a kick drum hitting you right fucking there. Nico is front and centre. And for me as a drummer, this is a fucking revelation because I can finally hear what one of the finest drummers to ever fucking pick up sticks is actually playing. I can hear every single lick. And that's what I'll always hold Steve Harris in the highest regard for finally bringing a fucking drummer front and centre on a Maiden album. You can't miss him. He's there, everything. The entire album is drums. Is it to the detriment of guitars? Possibly, but fuck guitars. They've had all them albums to shine. Finally, Nico is here, front and centre, and it's fucking awesome.
His kit as well, when we go into the video of Man on the Edge, that kit he has, he's just surrounded by drums. But I mean, even reading these lyrics now, it's just like fucking the best poem ever fucking written.
Oh, yeah.
It's, it's looking like there's some sort of holy war and the person's doubting his faith. A little bit of Hallowed Be Thy Name in there, really. In fact, you could even argue this is the spiritual sequel to Hallowed Be Thy Name in a way. It's basically or even the Trooper, I suppose. It's basically someone dying in battle and accepting God, really, as he dies, sort of, I guess.
So
bringing the eternal flame, bringing us immortality. My Creator, my God, lay my soul to rest. And
let's just say after that, my Creator, my God, lay my soul to rest. How good is that melody?
Yeah, and even the chorus though, the sign of the cross, the name of the rose, a fire in the sky. So
and the guitars on that is clean. It's not distorted, is it?
There's not even any notes. They just bang.
Yeah, but it's also clean picked notes under that. Like really nice, clean guitar sound. It's fucking brilliant. The composition of this track is amazing. And you notice that at front and centre the keyboards are.
Yes. Now that's one thing I wanted to note. There's one thing that's always annoyed me about this album is that there is keyboards on it, and they're so far back in the background that you can just about.
You think?
Yeah, there's keyboards on this album, and I push my earbuds in when I hear it, and I'm like, and I'm even. There's a song later on which we'll come to where there's keyboards in the introduction, and I'm even doubted if they were even there. I was like, did I hear keyboards, or have I put that in there by myself? But, ladies and gentlemen, do not fear, because on the 2015 remaster, they're nice up front and centre. It sounds different. It's like a.
I haven't I must admit, I haven't done the comparison, so. I'll have to check that out.
That was when they were doing the reissue of the catalogue. I was anticipating this because I was like, I wonder if they turned up the keyboards. Now, I don't know if they've turned them up, but they are a hell of a lot clearer. And I don't doubt they're there. I used to even wonder if they were even there.
Right. That's probably why you're saying that, because obviously when I've been re-listening to this, obviously now I do my listening through Spotify, fucking, you know, as
you've probably got the remaster anyway then, because this is all remastered by iTunes.
That's it, yeah. For my sins, I use Spotify, but perhaps going back, because I haven't got a fucking CD player anymore, I have to play it in a DVD player. But yeah, I'd have to check that out.
I would make the thing to get that. I would order this one because I know you've got a good system. Have you got surround sound?
Yeah. We're there, and then
right. We're not there. We're not there.
No, but as soon as we're there, we're not, because we've got the interlude.
Yes.
The nice back. The monks are back with us. Slightly different this time.
Yeah. And then right. Let's just put it out there. Hopefully, this is going to go and make its way to Steve Harris. Play a fucking gig with an orchestra.
Yeah. Yeah.
Metallica have done it twice now. Deep Purple did one before Ian Gillan was even properly in the band. The first release did it,
for fuck's sake.
Yeah. Before Deep Purple in rock, you know, with the Mount Rushmore, but it's all Deep Purple. Yeah. The first proper studio album with Ian Gillan, he actually recorded with an orchestra. Yeah. Deep Purple at the Royal Albert Hall. Why haven't they done it?
Even Nico wants to do it, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He said many times he wants to do it. He wants to play Empire of the Clouds.
And play Empire of the Clouds. Do whatever you like. But you've got to do this. God, just imagine.
Yeah.
An orchestra playing. Da-na-na-na-na, da-na-na-na-na-na, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Dun, 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 dun,
yeah. Because when that kicks in, that's savage, isn't it?
And you can just imagine Nico, you know, have some lightning effect, the strobe lightning. Oh, fucking
that entire section from the interlude to the off time bit to the right away lead up, it's it's majestic, mate. This entire bit after the interlude.
You know, it don't sound like Charlotte the Harlot though, so you know, shit.
I think it's up there with the Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner when that comes out of the interlude. When you get the build up, till it kicks into the solo. That's how majestic it is, and that's how underrated it is. It's up there with that fucking one of those finest fucking songs ever written. Yeah. But no one fucking. I mean, the solos, they fucking they see the fretboard off, mate. Yeah. Absolute blazing, fucking just ridiculous. And speaking of blazing, how good is Blaze's fucking voice?
Yeah.
Especially when it kicks back in at the end, when the chorus kicks back in.
Mm. Yeah,
oh, mate, it's a fucking.
And the notes, and the last chorus he sings at the end, when it's just his isolated vocals, really.
Oh yeah,
a little bit of lick of guitar in there.
They just soar, don't they?
Yeah.
And you know what was at the time the second longest Maiden song. It was only second to Mariner in length. What a way to start an album! What a confident way.
Yeah.
For apparently a songwriter, and if you think about it. Steve Harris, right? The man who's supposedly, you know, the band are dying, they've had their day. On albums, 2 tracks next to each other. Fear of the Dark. The next recorded Maiden song is Sign of the Cross. 2 of the finest Maiden songs ever written.
Yeah.
I will die on this hill.
The closing and opening of an era of eras, yeah.
I will die on this hill right now. They are 2 of the finest songs that Steve Harris has ever written.
Mm.
Probably never to be surpassed. Probably better than stuff he wrote before. Certainly better than stuff he wrote after it. But they're maligned. I mean, signed across most Gumbies, they'd be like, oh, yeah, it's off the X Factor. Don't listen to it.
Yeah.
It's one of the finest fucking songs Maiden have ever written. One of the finest songs a metal band has ever written. And bang, here's your statement of intent. Fucking have that, track one.
Yeah. Couldn't put it better myself. So, into Lord of the Flies.
Yeah, Harris Jers composition. They make quite a good team, these two.
Oh, that's. Do you know what? I've not even fucking. I've got so much stuff here. I've got this book here.
Post-it notes and fucking paper.
Yeah, I've got this book as well. Let's just quickly go through this. Steve Harris on Blaze Bayley's vocals versus that of Bruce Dickinson and Paul Di'Anno. I suppose it's somewhere between the two, really. It's hard to say. As far as working in the studio goes, all three were good. But sound-wise, voice-wise, I think Blaze is kind of more earthy, if you like.
Yes.
It's hard to explain. They're all different characters, but you know, Blaze's enthusiasm is second to none. And he's very easy to work with. We just wanted to be open-minded about it. We just wanted to get the best person possible. But obviously, there's a plus point about that he's a Brit.
Yeah.
He's the focal point in the band. And he should always be frontman of the band. So from that point of view, it's good that he's British. But there was one guy who was Norwegian, and he spoke good English, but still, it's one of those things. We had people from all over the world sending us stuff, but we wanted to be open-minded about it. Well, imagine that to this, you know.
Yeah.
Imagine saying that about the new James Bond.
Yeah.
I'll leave that there. This is Steve Harris on the X Factor. Shall we give his verdict for the...
Yeah, go on.
I suppose it's quite a long album. We had 3 extra songs that will end up being B-sides. This is obviously at the time. And really, the writing, like some of it was done with Blaze. So obviously having new input and some influence as well. And obviously being away for a while, not having written anything for a while, there's something that's also just having a new member in the band slowed things up, being more picky with that than I wanted to do this time with the sound and everything else. We wanted drums to be more ambient, the drum parts we wanted to be more open, so everything breathed more, so there's a lot more air and space to really concentrate on the songs. I really like Sign of the Cross because it's got everything but the kitchen sink in it. I also like Look for the Truth a lot, and I suppose my own writing, Blood on the World's Hands, and I really like Man on the Edge as well.
Man on the Edge, you didn't write.
Did he not? I know it was Yannick and...
Yeah. But yeah, so, no, I mean, you know, Lord of the Flies is,
Yannick,
say Harris and Yannick, they're quite a good team.
Yeah. Have you ever read the book of Lord of the Flies?
I haven't, no. You know, I mean, I don't really read, but obviously I know the story.
Well, second song in based on a book.
Yeah, again, so yeah, you know. But
yeah.
You've got quite a weird guitar effect, isn't it?
Sorry, I was just yeah.
It's a weird guitar effect, but sounds good.
But different, yeah.
Yeah. But what sets this apart? Nico's drum pattern. Fuck. So good. So simple, but so fucking good. And again, this comes from, you can hear him. He's not just there as an afterthought. He's fucking there.
Yeah, it's like lead drums in a way.
You know, really fucking giving it some welly, like one of the greatest rock drummers to ever fucking live should do. And it's brilliant. It's an air drum song. You know, you tell me someone when they played this live, they're not fucking giving it all this, you know? Mm. And it's, you know, the song plays itself. It's just catchy as crabs.
Yeah, I mean, this is quite a thing for me because I got quite into reading as a kid, and I was absolutely shit at school. I was fucking hopeless. But I did get intrigued by books, and the fact that a film was based on a book and things like that. Anyway, I remember my uncle saying to me, "So you like books, do you?" I was like, "Yeah," and he went, "Read Lord of the Flies." And I just remember thinking, what kind of fucked up title is that?
Yeah.
Lord of the Flies. And yeah, and just seeing Iron Maiden had done a song called that, it was like I was immediately intrigued.
Yeah.
It starts off, it covers the theme of, I suppose, the theme of the book.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's about a school trip. A boys are on a school trip on a plane, and it crashes on an island, and they split into two groups, and they kind of try and, for as much as kids can do, try and keep things diplomatic. But obviously the human instincts on an island where there's no adults and no real world, and it kind of takes over, and it's like the whole the animal instinct versus the human morality, really.
Yeah.
And they walk in that fine line between the two, and one of them goes off and hunts, and they kill these wild pigs that are on the thing, and that becomes a bit of a thing as well, because the leader has a thing with this guy, and he's like, "Well, fuck you! I'm the reason you lot eat, so maybe you should start listening to me." And it goes a bit like that, but I don't know what happens, but for some reason it's obviously a hallucinogenic part or a dream or whatever. But basically, they split up and mark their territory, but one of them puts a head. Oh, they think there's a beast on the island, and that you'll find out what it really is later. But yeah, this they put this pig's head on a stake, and they do it to warn off the beast. But it's also a little way of marking their territory from the other group. And the pig's head starts speaking to him, and he says, yeah, so it's obviously like a dream thing, but yeah, he says, "I am Beelzebub, the Lord of the Flies."
There you go.
And if you look into it, yeah, that is actually a demon known as Lord of the Flies,
Yeah.
which is quite weird that they used that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't care for this world anymore. I just want to live my own fantasy. Fate has brought us to these shores. What will now happen is meant to be, and I found I've got a taste for danger, and yeah, so it covers the book pretty well.
Yeah.
But it's a pretty good rock song as well. I mean, this is quite a good. This is like one of the more metal songs by Maiden, in that sort of modern sort of crunch that some, like, this wouldn't really be. I'm not sure about lyrically, but vocally and musically, like, you could picture someone like the Almighty doing this.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say that. Yeah.
And yeah, it's definitely a song that's grown on me over the years. I like it a lot more with every passing year, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I fucking love it. I mean, I've loved it. It's one of them. It's immediate for me. But it's everything about it is airworthy. I mean, the drums, I've already, given it all that. The solo, fucking hell, that's air guitar time.
Yeah.
It's just fucking so. And then obviously with the live written whoa whoa who's, I mean, that's fucking fist in the air, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's written with the live audience in mind. And songs like that are never a bad thing, because you can always get them parts that full well are going to fucking work live. And it must have struck a chord because Maiden brought it back for Death on the Road for Bruce to sing, and that was a fucking shock. And
yeah,
and I ain't being funny, he didn't sing it as well as Blaze.
No. Well, mind you, in that last chorus, he does take it up a notch, doesn't he?
He does, yeah.
Does that work? Did it necessarily need it?
No,
I
he didn't. I think he was trying to put his stamp on it. But
he says he never listens to anything by Blaze, and he says, "No, I don't mean it disrespectfully, but if I listen to it with Blaze, I'm going to try and sing it like Blaze.
Yeah.
I try and sing it. I get Steve to show me the song like he's shown me a song he's just wrote, and I've just tried to sing it like that.
Yeah.
So I tried giving a blank slate to it.
It's a good way to go, really. Like you say, you're trying to put your own mark on it.
Yeah, and he said, and if I listen to it, I'll be distracted and just adopt that. So,
but another thing I want to point out: the fucking bass line under the intro riff. If you listen to it, put the fucking earphones in, listen to what Harris is playing. It's insanity.
Yeah, I think
Absolute insanity. It's like fucking
not
lead bass
songwriting,
time.
but bass playing alone. This is the mad, like all over the fret.
It is, isn't it? It's everywhere.
The first album.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the stuff he plays on that first album is fucking crazy.
Yeah. Like you say, it's lead bass, isn't it? They've had 3 guitars for a long time, but they just didn't realise it. Well, they didn't. They did realise it, but they utilised it.
Yeah.
You know, every so often, like people talk about Cliff Burton and him playing lead bass. He only did it on a couple of Metallica songs. Fucking Steve does it on pretty much every Maiden song.
Yeah.
There's always some ridiculous bass line down somewhere or another.
Yeah, I mean, apart from maybe Geddy Lee from Rush.
Yeah.
You've got that guy from Primus, but he is literally just like...
Yeah, Les Claypool, he's different. Yeah.
But,
I know, don't you rate the guy from, is it Cannibal Corpse? Or one of the death metal bands?
Yeah.
The bass player is supposed to be really fucking good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alex, is it, or something?
Alex Marquez. No, not Alex Marquez. Oh. Alex Webster. Alex Marquez is the drummer. Yeah, Alex Webster, yeah. Yeah, he's mental. Like playing Cannibal Corpse, but with his fingers. You know.
You know, there's not many of them around, but when they do come around, they're fucking mesmerising. A good bass player is worth his weight in gold, mate.
Yeah. So, right, moving on to Man on the Edge.
Yeah,
we're in for a long one tonight.
Yeah. Could be a 2-parter, boys and girls. But yeah, first single, and not written by Steve at all. Blaze Bayley, first writing credit.
Blaze and Yannick, I believe.
Yannick, right? Yes. Yeah. Oh, Yannick really comes to the fore on this album. He really fucking starts.
Yeah, I mean, this is a lot of like his, you know, this is his album as much as it is Blaze's in a lot of ways, you know.
Yeah, no, it's and it's perhaps looking back on it, is it from the songs on the album, should this been the one that opened? Should they have gone the traditional way of opening with their single?
Yeah, possibly. I do think in hindsight, maybe a little bit of jig around of the set of the track list might benefit it.
Yeah, and this still opens up differently enough because it's not just your straight balls to the wall. You still got that intro, which is a bit different.
Still that dramatic.
Yeah, a little bit of what's going on here? Then boom, incoming drums.
Yeah. What I would say is that this album could benefit with a few more songs like this because we have Lord of the Flies, Man at the Edge, and then we've got a bit of a long haul.
Yeah, that's where I know we'll get there at the end.
Which
but
we'll cover when we get to it. But yeah, another song like this just thrown in the mix now and then would probably loosen things up a little bit. I can see there is the more I've gone on, it's like I kind of got frustrated because I liked this album and I feel like other people that dismissed the album didn't make quite as much effort.
Yeah.
But then in another way, I just think, well, it is a bit of a long walk and maybe not everyone makes it all the way. So maybe a nice little...
what's the abbreviation? The abbreviation you see on the internet now. If someone does a long post, TLDR, too long, didn't read.
Well,
and this is probably the fucking Maiden album equivalent of that. You know, people say TLDR, I'm out. When perhaps they should just fucking put their mind to it and actually, you know, get invested in it.
I often indulge in a little debate now and then on Facebook, and I put a line and I'll get and then I'll put a line. And it's like, what, you just fucking burying me in snow here so I don't So I wish I heard that. I probably could have done with it. But I do think just a little song, just a little 2-3 minute fast belter, just to split things up a little bit, probably could have benefited.
Mind you, they don't do it now. And no one fucking complains about the track listing now.
Yeah, but I do find some of their later albums are a bit of a heavy lift. And a lot of people don't like the new albums.
There's words for people like them.
But anyway, so let's stick to the...
Yeah, I mean,
this is probably,
for the first time of the three, although Lord of the Flies was a good rocker, this is more like your typical Maiden fast, heavy track.
What, this must have been the first. Did you hear this track first, or did you hear when you heard the album in full?
No, I heard Sign the Cross first. I heard the album as it was supposed to be.
So you didn't even get the single.
No.
Right.
We got the album before the single come out. Single come out 2 weeks before the album.
Right.
I'd been to the convention. I'd been to the convention 2 weeks before this come out. So I was trying to, because we come out and we're trying to fucking almost closing our ears so we didn't hear anything else, so we could just try and keep the album, so it didn't get diluted, because we knew we had a month to wait, or only 2 weeks to wait for the single. But when this come out, it brought the memories back. But it's a fucking great song.
Yeah, because a lot of people, this would have been their first time hearing. Yes. This would have been the first one they heard with Blaze.
And it's an iconic song, I would say, because of that chorus,
Falling down. Based on a film starring Michael Douglas.
And
a character that Michael Douglas plays, I relate more to every single day.
Yes, as 2025 or as 21st century.
Oh well, it was before 2020. In all fairness,
but as 2020 as the 21st century goes on, you do relate.
Yeah, I've often joked if I ever got a fancy dress party, I would go as Michael Douglas.
Defense,
It'd be a pretty simple costume as well, isn't it? Just a shirt, trousers, get the right.
Yeah.
Have a look around for that tie. Get some pens. I would have to get some fake pair of glasses. Cut my hair with short. I'd have to borrow someone. I haven't got a suitcase, like a briefcase.
Yeah.
I'd have to borrow someone's briefcase, or maybe get a cheap one in a charity shop or something. And just walk around. And anyway, I'd go to the party in character as well. If anyone tried talking to me, I'd be like, "What?"
Yeah. Fucking hell. That's it. Yeah. But no, I mean. But I mean, it's a great song, and it's Maiden writing stuff about a film or a book.
Yeah, and they did get slightly darker and slightly more edgy and a bit more real life in the last album. And as much as this is based on a film and it's not real life, but it's not based on
it's
fucking Conan the Barbarian either,
is it?
That's
it, But yeah, I mean, musically, this song is it's exactly what you want from a Maiden track. Fast, heavy drums. Fast guitars, fucking blistering solos.
Yeah, and it's just
the solos are insanity, mate. I mean, fucking hell.
It's just as well. Again, I'm trying to keep in context of like this is like the new era of Maiden. It's still distinctively enough to be recognisably Maiden, but just different enough also to, signify it. I think the video to this has aged quite well as well. Actually, I watched this the other day. I
don't think I've seen the video for about 20 years.
Well, as you know, Maiden weren't very good at videos.
What?
For everything they were good at, videos was never their strong point.
No, I don't believe you.
What?
That Maiden not been very good at videos.
No. Well, fucking, they never exactly did Thriller, did they? Or
Maiden make the best worst videos, don't they? I mean, they do them almost as an afterthought, don't they? They're like, for fuck's sake, we've got to do a video. Let's just churn any old shit out.
Yeah. I think the video as well, that was kind of sprung on a lot of bands. Look, I remember seeing an interview with Ronnie James Dio saying like he didn't like them. It was like something you had to do once.
Yeah.
He Ronnie James Dio said like worst thing that ever happened to music was MTV.
Yeah.
And because all of a sudden he said like everyone wanted to look like, if you didn't look like Bret Michaels, you weren't. And let's face it, Ronnie James Dio didn't look like
was about as far from Bret Michaels as you can get.
But everyone has different gifts.
That's it, yes, mate.
I'd rather have Ronnie James Dio's voice than Bret Michaels' good looks. That's a complete fucking lie. Who am I kidding? That's like saying, I don't want to be rich.
Yeah, that's it. You fucking do.
But, yeah. Anyway, yeah, the video. Right, I think this video looks shit, just like every other video they do. But I watched it the other day and I thought, actually, as far as music videos go, and for the time it came out, this has aged pretty well, actually. I don't actually mind this video. So you've got the them in the studio. They look great. Blaze looks fucking awesome in this. Like, he looks like, you know, you can talk about his vocals now. In this video, he looks the part. And he looked like the Maiden frontman for this era in music. You've got to remember, grunge was in full force now.
Yeah.
Music had got darker. You know, I mean, when was this? 94?
95.
95. So
No.
death metal.
Death metal was here. Pantera and Sepultura were tearing it up, weren't they?
And Blaze Bayley just looks fucking hard.
Yeah.
He's got the sleeveless. He's just plain black, sleeveless. He's got the black hair. He's got the like this mean look on him. He's head banging. He's doing this like thing with his fist. He looks fucking cool in this video. And as he's falling down, you've just got like this early. I mean, is it even CGI? I don't even know if it's even CGI. The CGI.
No, I think that wasn't even CGI then. I don't think.
Some sort of computer graphic
animation, yeah.
Of a city, and it starts off where it's one man, you know, in a suit with the briefcase, and he's basically just jumping off a building. But as he jumps, then it cuts back to the band. But as it goes on, there's people doing it all over the city. So as it's one building with one man, as it zooms, like comes out, there's
I vaguely remember it now, yeah.
Loads of people fall. So it's just like a rain of people falling. You can imagine like a stock market crashing and just loads of people just going, fuck it, and jumping. Yeah, it's aged well. It's a pretty cool video. I quite like it. And yeah, cool song. So.
And another insane bit of bass playing right at the end after the last chorus. He does a little run. It's like, fuck, you just hear it in your headphones. It's like, what? You almost double take because you're like, what the fuck was that? And you play it back.
Little drumming, like little, like, let's sum this up. You know, and it's probably...
It's crazy. It's just...
better than what most people write as a riff. Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's just, you know, no other bass player would think about doing that. But he does it. It's ridiculous. And, you know, it's Harry Harris. We're not worthy.
Right.
Now we get into the fucking meat, mate.
Your seatbelt on, guys, because things are about to get steep.
Of all the reviews I read shitloads of reviews. People who hated it, people who loved it, people who hated it. The thing was, we get the first 3 songs out of the way, then it all goes down the fucking pan. What a load of bollocks. We're getting into territory we've never been into before. And this is where new Maiden really starts.
Oh, fucking hell. Yeah. I'm constantly... Look at this. Look.
There you go.
It goes down to my nose. My hair's never been this long ever in my life.
You're an embarrassment, son. Come on. Sort it out.
Yeah.
But
I've got it. It's better now though, because it used to be like but now as I'm getting a bit older, I must be getting a bit thinner. I've got this whole slick back thing going on. So yeah. Anyway,
but we're an hour and 17 minutes in. We ain't got time to talk about hair.
Yeah.
So, Fortunes of War. Steve Harris, sole composition, and bleak as fuck, mate. Let's not mess about. But Maiden have always written about war, but this is second only time. I mean, Afraid to Shoot Strangers, where they started to move away from sort of not glorifying it, but talking about the patriotism, the jingoistic of war. You know, Britain against the bad, good against bad, and all the rest of it. This is like Afraid to Shoot Strangers was talking about the morality side of it. This is now the soldiers who come home. You know, do they really come home?
Well, I mean, you could talk about shell shock.
Yeah, I mean, shell shock. Obviously, we know has been a thing since World War. Well, been a thing long before that, but only had a name for it in World War One.
Well, we've got a posh name for it now, and we've got
obviously post-traumatic.
Yeah.
Stress syndrome is the latest PTSS they call it now instead of PTSD, I think. But
but the thing is, I mean, of course, there's different strains of it, but the World War One, where grenades were going off everything, but people would be walking down the road,
and
they go, ah! like, you know, there'd just be
their mind's just fucking.
Now it's
baked, isn't it?
If you ever read into it, it's not something I was very thing, but it's only recently I was listening to something. It was like, fucking hell, this is a bigger problem than what anyone realises.
Mate, it's a fucking row. I mean, they talk about it. I watch a lot of American TV, and I love watching stuff like SEAL Team and all these things that, they talk about the armed services and that, and the armed forces, and the fucking shit the vets go through. They come home, they do their bit, and they're just fucking discarded.
Yeah.
And they're all fucked. I mean, the shit they've seen and the shit they've had to do to survive. And they're just fucking left alone with these demons. And, you read a lot of them, they either fucking turn into dribbling wrecks just in a room somewhere, or they go the complete other way and end up fucking shooting up a supermarket or whatever and killing themselves or whatever. It's fucking scary.
Did you ever see that film? Oh, God. Bollocks. The Hurt Locker?
The Hurt Locker.
Yeah. The closing scene of the film.
Yeah.
Where he's just in the cereal aisle, just...
Yeah, just baked,
What the fuck am I doing here? What have I, And there is that. I think there is that. I've fought for the country. I've fought for a cause.
Yeah.
And now I've come home and I'm just what was that all about? And
you go back, I mean, let's not fuck about. You go back to Sylvester Stallone. For as much as people think of Rambo as his fucking...
No, that's first film.
West,
that first film.
Blood,
yeah.
That John Rambo was fucked up, mate.
That's what the book was about as well.
Yeah.
You forget in the book he commits suicide.
Yeah.
But yeah,
come back from Vietnam. But
when that speech he gives at the end, it just goes like everyone. But and I was another thing is the post-traumatic stress syndrome. He says it's not. One thing I read was it's not what they've seen; it's what they've done.
Yeah, that's it.
Committed
absolute atrocities. Fucking, and it's all. And just deal with it. How are you supposed to deal with it? I mean, I couldn't even want to fucking begin to imagine the shit they have to go through.
One thing as well that always strikes me is World War One, with the accounts of the British soldiers when they met the German soldiers. They said, like, once you got talking to them, it was like easing the same shit. I mean, he didn't want to be there any more than I did. Exactly. And I actually thought it was a bit of a myth, but it's true.
Christmas Day,
they had a game of football.
Football game, yeah, because they were just load of geezers all out there. Yeah, but that was true.
Yeah, really. You could talk about this on the podcast alone.
Yeah,
but yeah,
so we'll have to get back obviously onto the song. But
this is
the song is very much about that subject matter, and the lyrics are actually, I'd say, really good. It's really good. But for me, they put across they try and put across someone who's...
I'd like to hear an actual soldier's opinion of the song, actually. Because I mean, I don't know. I've got no... I've no right to comment on it in a way,
Yeah, almost.
And you think, well, what's a bass player in a heavy metal band know about it? But he's obviously read something.
Yeah, that's it. Read first-hand accounts and that. And he creates a song that is unlike anything Maiden have ever done or ever done after. Musically, it's very... God,
this is just the if you ever drive over a hill really quickly and your stomach goes.
Yeah.
This happens, but slowly with this song. Again, so you've got that melody.
Get the nice sort of guitar with the old Blaze singing about it, and then
I'm scarred for life.
It's not just, but it's not my flesh that's wounded.
Yeah,
and all that,
and then the nightmare begins, and then there's that acoustic guitar.
It's electroacoustic bass.
Oh, okay.
It's not acoustic guitar. Yeah, that's the thing. This is the first time he'd ever used it.
I'd thought, every so often you get a metal band, but then a little acoustic guitar on a stand.
But obviously you
put a guitar so I go ding, and then
you never got to see this live, did you? Obviously, I was there front and centre at Brixton. I was like 5 rows from the front. And it is actually Harris playing this. This is electroacoustic bass, and you never hear a fucking electroacoustic bass, and that's why it sounds so good.
Yeah.
But what made him think? He must have been playing it on the bass and gone, you know what? No, let's... But this entire section is one of one of the finest pieces of music Maiden have ever written, in my opinion. This section here.
Yeah.
With electroacoustic bass and just Nico just fucking hammering down on the toms. Yeah. It sends shivers up my spine.
And then just when that slow. And
the riff kicks in. It's heavy as fuck, mate. It's Maiden's heaviest song.
The shittest album Iron Maiden ever fucking made. If this was on a Candlemass album, you wankers, you'd be fucking having a wank.
Yeah. You know, it's so monstrous.
And that's not a pop at Candlemass. Candlemass are fucking awesome. But yeah, like if this was like some doomy, gloomy fucking Sabbath rip-off band, you'd be going, this is amazing.
Yeah, this entire section is fucking just not appreciated at all. It's fantastic music.
So you have this fantastic, heavy, slow, heavy trudging bit back to the acoustic. And then we're going to do it again.
But we're going to bring in...
with a fucking bluesy solo over the top of it.
That's it,
yeah. And it's just so... But it's just so smooth.
Yeah, it is.
As it goes over the top. It's like, this is what this... Like butter on a toast. It just...
That's it. It just goes on.
Finishes it off. And the song ain't even started yet, really.
That's it. It's not into the... this is the intro, pretty much, isn't it, still? But no, then, they rinse and repeat that, and I could listen to this section all fucking day. But obviously, then we get into the main bit of the song. More chuggy, it kicks in. And fucking the keyboards kick in for the last bit of it.
I forgot the keyboards on the intro.
Yeah.
Just that, I'm scarred for life.
Yeah.
It's just that...
Yeah, that's it, just under it, yeah.
It's just it just adds that, it's like a layer of ice, like a layer of frost over the thing. And it just gives it that, again, you just hear that, have you ever woken up boiling hot, but like, have you ever had a nightmare or I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if you had a really fucked up life, but have you ever just woken up with something on your mind, but you're sweating, but you're hot, but freezing at the same time, and you can just picture that's the character.
Yeah,
he's dripping with sweat, but freezing.
That's it. Yeah.
But that's what I'm talking about. The keyboards. I would often go, is there keyboards there? But I couldn't. But yeah, they're apparent, and they're not overpowering. Sometimes. When there's a remaster or a remix, something's in the background, and then they just go bang, and it's like up the forefront. It's like, now it's overkill. No, the balance is just right on this remaster. And I'm not a sound guy. Like back in the metal show with Gully and Joe, Gully was your sound man. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I'll listen to fucking death metal demos and shit like that. I don't care. But this, I can hear the difference. So if I can hear it, definitely. But yeah, so we've got this not long drawn out, but this doom song, and then do you know what this song needs? A nice little gallop.
The solo and a solo section.
Typical Maiden riff. It's like, there's still Maiden. We're still here.
But you can hear Nico again. Back to I'll beat the drum. Fucking pun intended, but you can hear Nico what he's playing, and it's awesome. You can hear he's galloping. He's one pedal, double pedal fucking thing that everyone says he shouldn't be able to do, but he does.
And let's forget as well the solo.
The solos. It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah,
fucking crazy. But then they brings it back into the fucking chorus. We got our usual sort of Harrisy chorus, where they repeat the one word, or not the one word, but the one phrase repeated. He mixes it up a bit, but this is the Harris chorus. But yeah, I mean, it runs the whole gambit. Don't like say doomy. It's fast. It's melodic. It's heavy. It's fucking mellow. It's atmospheric.
Yeah.
And then you get the this is the beginning of this song is the beginning of the Maiden false ending. They do it quite a lot now, where they'll end the song
and then go back to the intro,
and then go back into an intro or something. But this started the trend, and it really works.
Fear of the Dark.
Yeah.
I am a man who walks.
Yep.
Oh, and then the lights dim. Maybe. Right. I'm not going to say too.
But this is a song that people just dismiss out of fucking hand. Oh yeah, shit, fuck off. You know, it's an amazing song.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great
dark,
song.
Bleak as fuck, dark as fuck, and unfortunately, this is the one that Blaze forgot the words to live on a fucking radio broadcast.
Do you know what? Funnily enough, when you say about this song in this album, in a way, there's a band called Vital Remains. They're one of my favourite death metal bands, and all their songs are really long, but they've got like Yngwie Malmsteen style solos as well. Like the melody is as brutal as fuck as they are. They're really melodic as well. And where the songs are so long, there's so many different sections, and they could fucking go toe to toe, Maiden, in terms of their songwriting. Like the last album's 10 songs, and it's like over an hour long.
Yeah.
In fact, Glenn Benton from Deicide did the lead vocals on the last 2 albums.
Fucking hell.
He was meant to be doing a guest slot, like doing a bit of backing vocals on one of the albums, and their singer left for whatever reason. And he explained, and he went, and Glenn went, well, I've got nothing to do. I was coming to the studio anyway. I'll do it if you want. And yeah, Glenn Benton ended up just doing the whole vocals for the album. There's a song that opens with like a roar and a higher pitched scream together. So he just did it. And when they played it both together, it was like, right, this is it. And he ended up coming back for the second album. But yeah, anyway, sorry. It was a review. And he went, the funny thing about Vital Remains is when they are exactly what everyone hates them for. Like people that don't like them and people and say why they don't like them. They're right. Like they're everything to the word what their detractors say they are. But that's what makes them so great.
Yeah.
It's literally the flip of a coin. What everyone hates about them is exactly what someone who loves them would love about them. You know? And I think that's something that's to be said about that song. Because I think everything we just praised it for is exactly why someone doesn't like it.
Diss it. Yeah.
But with that being said, that's exactly what you love, Matter, Life and Death. So, yeah.
Yeah,
anyway.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
That was a long-winded. But here we go. Right, so I think we're done. Shall we look for the truth?
Indeed, I think we're best. Track 5.
I've not really got a lot to say about this song because I think I pretty much covered it earlier when I described seeing it live. To me, this is an anthem. I fucking love this song. I love the lyrics to this song as well. I think if you're particularly down, listen to this song because it's about being backed into a corner and just going for one last fight. You know, this is my final stand. I make a fist out of each hand. You know,
it's really good lyrics. And obviously it's written Bailey Jers Harris composition. That churns up a lot on here in various order, but the three of them really got together on this. And I mean, it's another mean and moody intro. And,
this becomes a bit of a formula in the album going forward.
It does, It does. Nice bit of lead bass going on, if you notice, because that's actually the bass that's playing the major part of the melody. Blaze's voice is on point in this song, especially in the mellow bit and when it kicks in as well. It kicks in. It's almost got a fucking medieval vibe to it.
Yes,
it's almost like you know
when the strings come in. I say keyboards, but again, this is another one
bit of the prophecy. That end bit of the prophecy on Seventh Son. It's almost like this is its evil twin. Yeah. And it's got a really fucking medieval vibe to it. It's like, say, especially when the keyboards come in. Da, 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 da. You imagine a load of serfs fucking playing all fucking lutes and all that. But Nico plays his arse off on this song. Really fucking nails the vibe of the song. And the solos are just fucking, as on pretty much all the album, Dave and Yannick just sear the fretboard off. They're playing his fucking just on another plane of existence. And how Yannick still gets grief to this day, I've got no fucking idea. He is a supreme player.
Someone fucking had a pop at him the other day when I shared one of the previous shows. I think it was the Fear of the Dark episode. Or it might have even... Yeah, I think it was Fear of the Dark. Maiden, yeah? Fear of the Dark. Yannick. I was like, fuck off. Yeah. But he wrote 2-3 songs on this album. Right. What, you're going to completely write the fucking... Yeah. Anyway.
Go away.
Always
but
one.
No, I mean, it's a fucking great song, and I wish they'd play it.
I don't think they've ever played it, have they?
No, they haven't. They didn't play it.
Plays it quite
They didn't play it live. They didn't play it on the X Factor tour.
Yeah.
They played most of the album, but they didn't play this.
I fuck knows why, because the crowd, as again, watching Blaze do it, he fucking pulls it off, and he gets the crowd to do the whirls with it, and that dun 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 dun.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Dun, dun. It's just got that great groove, and the crowd would be moving to it. And it's a heavy song.
Yeah, it is. And fun fact, it's one of the only Maiden songs tuned down to drop D.
Really?
I actually saw the tab book once, and it's tuned to drop D tuning, which Maiden fucking hardly. Oh, they might do now, but back then they was always in E.
They definitely did it on one of the new songs, on Book of Souls. But it's just that's another criticism of the band. That's another thing in Blaze's favour. They're going like, for all the thing that Blaze, he was kind of he was swimming upstream the whole time because they never adjusted their tuning to his voice. Yeah, they've gone down. A lot of people say if they went down a notch,
that's it. Yeah,
it would have matched him, but they refused to. They're like, no, you come up with us. But
the song
he's a baritone singer, whilst Blaze is a soprano singer, something like that, or tenor. There's highs and there's different.
I know what you mean. Yeah,
and they just said if that was what he was up against, he never stood a chance anyway.
No, that's it. No, he didn't. He was
he got given a poison chalice in all fairness.
Oh, he did. Big time. Yeah.
And all he did was take what anyone else in his position would have done. What was he meant to say? No.
Yeah. No, I'm all right, mate. Yeah. No, I want to carry on playing the Underworld.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think time has been and will be kind to him.
Oh yeah, it will.
And it will be to this album as well.
Especially for this album, yeah.
So anyway, right, moving on.
The Aftermath. Harris, Bailey, Jers. Again, we've switched up the triple threat, moved it around a bit. This is a fucking tune. Oh, mate, what a song. Subject matter again is grim. World War One for once.
Well, it's a sequel to Fortunes of War, really, isn't it?
I mean, Maiden don't really sing about World War One. But this is actually World War One. Obviously with the lyrics where mustard gas and barbed wire bloom and stuff like that. It's overtly World War One. But you got the quiet intro again, like you say. We're seeing a trend.
This intro reminds me of I Only See in Infrared by Queenswhite.
Oh, Queenswhite. Sorry, I thought you were talking about Dream of Mirrors. Yeah. Yes. Yes. I can see that.
Yeah.
But you notice what this does, what most other Maiden songs don't. When this kicks in, it kicks in fucking large, but it kicks into a riff.
Yeah.
Not a melody or some notes, a fucking a proper riff, mate. Maiden don't riff that often, but it kicks in, and Nico fucking keeps this song alive because he got sort of an off-time kick drum beat. The snare's completely in time, but he plays around with a kick drum beat a bit, and because we can now hear him, I know I'll go on about it again, but it brings a whole new level to the song. Because you can hear other parts of the fucking band, and it's brilliant. And Blaze's voice again on this, those long notes he holds.
Yeah.
Proper, mate. I mean, saying the geezer can't sing and all his voice is shit, fucking do one. I mean, this song, listen to this. Those notes, just let them hold. And then you get that, you rinse and repeat for a couple of verses, but then you get that, the bit I'm talking about, don't you? Bit that comes in before the solo.
One thing that sticks out to me is I think it's a good vocal melody. Yeah, in the mud and rain. What are we fighting for?
Yeah. Yes.
And then should we be fighting at all? And brilliant. But are you talking about the heavy bit as well?
After the war.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking so. Those lyrics after the war, what does a soldier become?
That's more or less what we was discussing earlier as well. So again, the two songs are they're very similar songs actually. I think that's a little bit of a criticism I have as well. These are both very good songs, but they are a little bit
perhaps
cheech and chong, you know.
I don't know, but perhaps they're too close on the album. Could be separated by a few more tracks.
Possibly. But I think around this is where we need Justice of the Peace dropped in.
Yeah.
Just to break things up and.
Well, I've got to go back to this because that I'm just a soldier, and then the solo kicks in.
Yeah.
Fuck me. This is the solo I thought was in Look for the Truth when I heard it at the playback.
Yeah.
It's just, and it's unusual for Maiden as well because it's only one solo. They don't trade off. Yannick does the whole thing.
So you're talking about that dun 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 dun.
Yeah, you get that bit, don't you?
And then that dun, 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 dun. Yeah.
And then it kicks in. Then it, you know, I'm just a soldier, and it goes. It speeds up. And then solo.
Yeah. Oh, right.
But the solo kicks in such a fucking way, and it's the best solo on the album, in my opinion. And it's a blistering solo. And it's like I say, normally Yannick and Davey or Davey and Adrian would trade solos. This is just Yannick. And a lot of people say, oh, he can't solo, he just fucking whittles. Listen to this. This is a supreme solo. One of Maiden's best ever solos. And it just fucking goes for ages. But it's so good. And fucking hell, I love it. Underrated.
The fucking chip this guy gets, I just don't get it. All he does is fly around the stage and skip around. Well, he has stage presence.
Yeah.
You don't play nothing. What do you mean you don't play nothing?
He has exactly what Adrian and Dave don't.
Mm.
They don't have stage presence, do they, them two? Really? You know, they'll play the shit out of their instrument. They're two of the finest players on the planet. But it was always Harris and Bruce running about. But Yannick, shit he does. He throws a fucking guitar around in the air and all that. And he never misses a beat. Yeah. When was the last time you heard him play a bum note? Never. No. That beat up piece of shit Fender he's got, all the paint stripped off of it. He's a supreme player, mate. Absolutely supreme. And he's a songwriter.
And like I say, he's obviously earning a very good wage. So he's costing the band a lot of money. And, you know, he's a seat on the plane. He's a meal. You know, like if he was just, if it weren't worth him being there. Yeah. I mean, what's his yearly wage being in Maiden, being on the stage?
Fuck, mate.
If it weren't worth the money, Steve would have got rid of him ages ago.
Yeah. But he's a supreme songwriter and all. Some of Maiden's greatest fucking latter day songs. He's got his fucking name next to him.
Yeah, I know. People don't realise it. Fucking
joking.
Right. So, Judgment of Heaven.
Yeah. This is a Steve Harris composition. This is the most introspective you'll ever hear him get. We always talk about, you hear about what Steve was going through on this album, summed up in this.
Yeah.
This is him just pouring it out on fucking page, mate, I think, isn't it? Mm-hmm. And all the shit he was going through. And it's weird considering the subject matter of the song. It's quite upbeat.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is.
It's almost like him. This is almost like him hitting rock bottom halfway through the song, and then we talked about, you know, I thought about suicide a dozen times and more, but that's the easy way. That's the selfish way. The hardest part is to get on with your life, which, you know, I applaud that outlook. It's like, no, crack on. Life's gonna give you shit. You need to smash through it. You know, and he really has, and this is him preaching that he's, you know, all the better for it, I think.
Yeah, this this is a deeply personal song for me.
Oh, it is.
It's for you. One of my favourite songs. And the lyrics of one thing, I think it's a case of, like you said, hitting rock bottom, or just getting to a point of hopelessness, but then at that point there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
And then you zoom towards that. And I think that you get that the hardest bit is to go on with your life. And then as the drums kick in and the guitars kick in, that's when spark.
The upbeat, yeah.
Yeah, that's the spark of inspiration that you hold on to. And again, that little drum pattern as well.
Oh yeah, Nico smashes it.
Yeah, his feet work on this, and
Oh,
I always liked "For the Greater Good of God." For the greater good
of God. Yeah,
it is a great good of God.
it is. Yeah, it's the same pattern.
Yeah, but
And
I always love his drumming on that.
yeah, yeah, it's pretty much
all
the same
on his
pattern.
feet. It's all in his foot. Even.
Yeah, I know. I play it. It comes up when I go to the studio on Saturday morning. It's on my playlist.
I realise it actually started on this song, but yeah, it's just that I think as for the if you don't quite get what I'm saying, if you take the Tyson Fury when he said about like the depression he went through and he put all that weight on and he was actually going to commit suicide there and then, and something snapped in him and he snapped out of it there and then. He'd split up with his wife and everything, and he said like I'm coming home, I'm giving up drinking, and this is over. Whatever this is, it's over. I'm coming back. And she went, and they said like, well, what did your wife say to that? And he went, no, she knew I meant it. And yeah, he lost his weight, and he got his and he had that fight when he got knocked out, and he was on the canvas, and you see him go, fuck this, and he gets up.
Yeah,
that's what this song is about. And it is the Lord of the Flies riff, isn't it? It's not my wait. All of my life, I've judgment of heaven is waiting for me. Yeah. And that kicks into the Lord of the Flies, isn't it?
Yeah, it's similar notes, yeah.
Well, I think it's the same riff, which... and when we're saying, like, should we have opened with this or should we have done that? I think maybe open with Lord of the Flies and close with this. And then, no matter what order you put the songs in, we're going through a depression.
Yeah.
Now, some people suffer from depression and are always going to be depressed. They have chemical, but often in life you go through a depression.
Yeah, you come out.
It doesn't necessarily mean you're depressed. You're just depressed at the moment.
Yeah.
But you have to go through it. I think in this modern world they're too quick to throw pills at you. But
yeah,
we'll get into that another time. But when you go through it and come out the other end, I think this is what that song is about.
Yeah.
And I think if they put this at the end, that's what the album is. Because this album is about, mainly, it's about Steve Harris going through a depression and coming out the other end of it. And I think if they close the album with this, maybe The Unbeliever, that's got a bit of an upbeat thing. But with the at the beginning and then the at the end, it kind of just puts the book notes like
yeah. I see where you come from. Yeah.
But a real uplifting, inspiring song, a very underrated song.
Oh yeah, big time.
And
I mean, it'll never get played live by Maiden because of the subject matter. I think that's him just putting it there on record. And
well, I don't know why. That's got to be thing. You're quite.
No, that's just my take on it. I think that's why he's done it. He's put it out there. Yeah. He don't want to thing me it. I mean, we know Blaze plays it because he played it last time we saw him. And he does it really well. But no, this is it's a fucking really good song. And again, it's a song. I bet if you said to him, a Maiden fan, "Oh, what do you think of Judgment of Heaven?" They'd be like, "What? What song's that then?"
It's on X Factor. Oh no, that album's shit. Oh what?
Yeah.
The one you didn't know the song off,
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Right, I've said everything I want to say about Judgment of Heaven. How about you?
Yeah, no. It's I think it's a great song. You know, it's fucking great playing all the way through it. Nico smashes it with like the pattern that we know and love. He does.
I think as well because you've had 3 really depressing songs.
Yeah.
I suppose Look for the Truth is quite uplifting in a little sort of way. Well, I don't think it's uplifting, but it is inspiring. It makes you, it kind of, that song kind of makes you go, right, are you going to fight this or not? Are you giving in or not? Right, you're fighting? Right, let's go fight. Yeah, it's about a fight. But this song is about to me, it's about a catharsis. It's about that breaking down and surrendering and just letting everything go. Be it grief, be it whatever you're going through, a breakup. But once you let that thing that you're trying not, you're trying not to fall apart, and then you do, and then when you let it all go, and there's that relief that comes after it, you go, well, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Nice, yeah.
And I've thought of an answer now. Maybe you'll sleep it off, and in the morning you'll wake up with a solution or a new outlook on something. It's that feeling of feeling better afterwards. That's what this captures, I think. And and I think the whole all of my life I believe judgment is heaven that's coming from me. I think that is really just him coming full circle. He might have abandoned something, but then found something within himself. So it's like all this time I've been looking for this in order to get me out of that, but the strength or the thing was within all the time. I think that's another thing to it as well.
Yeah, I mean, I know I've mentioned it back when we was doing a No Prayer show. I think he had problems with his marriage ever since around that time, because that's when Maiden changed. No Prayer. The lyric matter changed. The music got darker, and I think it very much, because with Steve being the major songwriter, you can tell it's like a beacon. You can see it. Right, something ain't right with Mr. Harris, because this happened. All the other Maiden stuff has always been carefree and all the rest of it, but you get to No Prayer, it's like, fucking hell, this is dirty. Something's wrong. Not wrong, but something's changed.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Because even though Fear of the Dark picked it up a bit, there was still some grime on that. That's what, like, Afraid to Shoot Strangers and stuff like that. It's almost like he's looked at something's happened with the wife, and he's looked at the world as well, and he's gone, fucking hell, I really don't like what's going on here. And it's almost fucking, for me, it stands out like a bulldog's bollocks. You can just see it.
Well, again, we didn't really talk about it at the beginning, but another context for this album was, death metal had come up, Nirvana were the big thing, Maiden were yesterday's news, Bruce Dickinson had left the band, Martin Birch had retired.
And not just Dickinson left the band, Harris fucking found out from Rod.
Well, that's explained in the book. That was Rod that Bruce went, let me talk to Steve, and he went, don't talk to Steve, I'll tell Steve.
Right.
And that was...
It's been so long since I've read that book.
I think Steve did take it, because he was on holiday at the time, and Rod went, I'm coming out to see you, and he went, well, what's this all about?
Yeah.
And he told him, I think he met him on a beach or something. Went,
fucking hell, yeah.
And his first reaction was, that fucking wanker couldn't even tell me to my face. And Rod went, no. He went, I told him not to tell you. So yeah, that was Rod's thing. I think he said as well, that's probably a bit of a stupid thing for me to do. But
yeah, there was a lot of shit going on, and it's culminated in this album.
Plus his divorce. Yeah. And plus his father died as well.
Yes, he did. Yes.
So it was probably...
Oh, it's everything, isn't it? I mean, lucky he didn't kill himself. As he proved in Judgment of Heaven, if he thought about it that many times, suicide. He was at rock bottom. But because this is... Obviously, we had Maiden. Obviously, the first 7 albums. We all know about them. That's when I say... on the 8th album, it changed. 8, 9, and 10, they're dark. They're weird. They stand out in a Maiden canon. There's like a triple threat of like, fucking hell, what's going on here? Because from Brave New, Brave New World, Virtual 11 is a lot lighter than this.
Well, the intro alone to Angel of the Game.
A lot lighter. But this really stands out, and I think this fucking leads nicely into track 8, Blood on the World's Hands. Steve really did not like Planet Earth in 1994. And this song, fuck me, this is an underrated gem in Maiden's catalogue. This is fucking nigh on 6 minutes of utter majesty.
Well,
And it's
first and
unlike
foremost,
anything he's ever written before and written after. It's unique and it's awesome. And it starts off unique as well with that electroacoustic bass solo.
Yeah.
You know, I've read, like I say, reading the reviews, a lot of people are going, that's fucking awesome. A lot of people are going, what's the fucking point of that? For me, it sets the tone of the song. As soon as you hear it and you're hooked, you're like, fucking, where's this going? And it brings you in. And it's, aside from the fact it's fantastically played. And played on fingers.
I love it. I just think it's just this lovely little ambient, mellow.
Yes, ambience, yeah. It
weird,
sets a tone. It sets a dynamic. And let's not forget it's played on fingers. Fucking what?
And just that little doom, 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 doom. You know,
just to keep it.
What was all right when Van Halen used to do it.
Yes, exactly.
In his introductions. What was that song?
Like Eruption, you know.
Fast Jimmy.
Steve Harris does it.
Thanks. Fast Jimmy. There.
Yeah.
What's the song? Fast Jimmy, I think. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
You know that little intro in that song? Yeah. But yeah.
But no, Harris does it, and it's like, oh, it's self-indulgent, isn't it? Fuck off.
Yeah.
But it builds up and it brings you in and it kicks in. There's not been a Maiden riff like that before. And the production really lends itself to this because you can hear every single instrument clear as a day. You can hear both guitars, you can hear the bass, you can hear Nico. And it tells a fucking story. I mean, the lyrics are savage. Absolutely savage. Talking about, obviously, I think it's Yugoslav wars were going on at this time. I think that's had a lot to do with it because that was a savage fucking savage time period. But this song, I fucking love this. I mean, Steve and Nico are tight on this. The bass and kick drums, they lock in.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm reading the lyrics now as I'm thinking, it's a pretty dark song.
It's savage, isn't it?
But I thought it was like how I was obviously wrong about it. So I always thought how the world can be so dark, yet so it can be good as well. There's a film, the director of The Exorcist did another film called The Ninth Configuration. And it's about a soldier that goes into a mental home. And it's a really funny bit at the beginning of it. You know Donald Pleasance, you remember the Escape from New York?
Yeah.
This soldier gets there, and this guy in a like a long coat with a stethoscope around. He goes, "Oh, are you the soldier?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Yeah." Well, and he puts a fag in his mouth and lights. Goes, "Yeah, you go watch your step around here because there's a lot of crazy people. A lot of them seem docile enough, and a lot of them are harmless enough. But every so often, you might get one who's a bit mad, and you know they can be quite manipulative as well." All of a sudden, two people grab this doctor, and he's like, "Get the hell off me!" And they're like, "You fucking nicked the doctor's uniform again, you!" And they take everything off him, and then just carry him off. So he's sitting there going, "Be careful because there's a lot of nutters in this place, and they're pretty manipulative." And it turns out he's nicked the doctor's uniform.
Manipulative, yeah.
And then they carry him off, and then this guy's just like, "Fuck have I walked into?" and I thought it was a really good little comedy sketch, but it kind of shows you right from now on, you don't know who's who. But there's a debate between two people about whether God exists, but it gets really intense. And there's just a line. He just says, "Yeah, but if you say there's no God for all the bad in the world, then how do you account for all the good?" And I thought of that in this line here. Another assassination, the same day a new creation.
Yeah.
I thought that was a baby being born.
Yeah.
But not necessarily. It could be a piece of technology. It could be.
Yeah, saying that. Yeah, it could be. I think it's probably more likely to be a someone dying, but someone else being born.
Because I thought someone, why would there be that nice little glimmer of hope?
Yeah, but you look at the
rest
next
of the
line.
song is just.
But you look at the very next line. What are they coming in security of a world that brings one day another killing, somewhere someone starving, another savage raping.
Meanwhile, there's someone laughing at us, and he says that as well with Venom.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. But I mean, the lyrics they're fucking dark, and if you notice the subtle keyboards, all the way through. Just there, almost as like it's grabbing your attention, but you don't quite know why. It just adds another proper menacing layer to the song. But the solo section, fucking hell, it's utterly insane. The fucking dynamics of it, the solos themselves, the musicality is just off the chart. And Yannick's solo, when it ends, it almost sounds like alarm bells. It sounds like 3 alarm bells going off. And then it kicks in.
That massive climax as well at the end, when he's like, blood on the...
mate.
Blood on the world's hands and
that bit live, I'll tell you, mate, Brixton was lit up for that.
Yeah.
Because I did that bit, because I actually played this. And I was over the moon, because it's probably my favourite song on the album. And they played it, and then you got that bit, like you say, Blood on the World's Hands, where he's singing, and then after it, you just got the music, didn't you? There's no lyrics. They encouraged the sing-along for that, because the crowd carried on singing it. And Blaze just started fucking orchestrating like 5,000 people at Brixton, just screaming that. And for people who say that people didn't care about Maiden scaled down their shows. But that show at Brixton, Steve Harris even says himself, is one of the top 5 Maiden shows of all time.
Yes, that's right, yeah.
Says it in the Best of the Beast book. Says it in the Best of the Beast book. And I was there, mate, and my ears rang for 2 weeks after that. It was my first ever gig. And it was such a bar was set, and this song was a highlight. Just fucking 5,000 people just screaming that. And Blaze's voice, he's just on point.
Yeah, I do wonder if that was ever filmed and if that'll ever see the light of day, because it is a legendary gig.
Yeah, it was awesome. Absolutely awesome. Fuck me, it was such a good...
And was his voice that good that night? I mean, that would have been one of the earlier shows with him as well. It was definitely the first one they did in England, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it was a month after the album came out. Normally, we always get the gigs last.
Yeah, but you always get the tour started in Israel.
Yeah.
But then I've heard, was that just a one-off show, or was that part of the tour?
That's where the tour started.
Israel.
Yeah, that was the first show was in Israel. Yeah. He said singing Number of the Beast in Israel was quite crazy.
Yeah. Sorry as well. It was Harry Dean Stanton, the actor. Not Donald. Donald Pleasant was the president.
Yeah, not you, brain.
For some reason I got his name, but yeah, it's Harry Dean Stanton. So you imagine Harry Dean Stanton in a doctor's uniform, lighting a fag, and all of a sudden being carried off. Yeah, great. Underrated film, actually. I think because it was the director of The Exorcist, and this wasn't a horror.
Yeah,
they didn't quite know how to market it. Yeah.
I mean, I think I've had, like you with Judgment of Heaven, I can't sing the praises of Blood on the World's Hands any more than I have. In fact, when I was in one of my first bands, Mistaken Identity, I actually wrote an entire song based on one word from this at the end where Blaze changes the lyrics slightly. It says, "It's our epitaph." I actually wrote an entire song called Epitaph of the World based on this song with lyrics just as fucking bleak and fucked up as this, or I tried to be.
Yeah.
But no, this song inspired me in so many ways, and I fucking love it to this day. And I don't think I can say any more about it, really.
It's one of Maiden's heavier tracks as well, and it's just that...
Yeah.
No, it's cool. Got a good groove to it. And,
it has, yeah. Brilliant groove.
So up until this week, was always under the impression that this song was called Heart of Darkness, but it's not. It's called The Edge of Darkness.
That's the book, isn't it?
Yeah, because it's based on a book, which is what
Apocalypse Now is based on.
Apocalypse Now is based on a book called The Heart of Darkness, but the lyrics of this song are based on the film, because the film is set in Saigon during the Vietnam War. The book is actually based in the Congo.
Oh, right.
Set during World War II, I believe. It's a rogue British soldier.
Right. Didn't know that.
And it's up the river. Can't remember where it is now. But it's actually set in Africa. They modernise because Vietnam and all that was going on.
Congo would be the Nile, wouldn't it? Wouldn't the Nile stretch that far down?
I didn't want to.
Yeah, no, I think because the Nile stretches fucking right the way into Central Africa, but I might be wrong. But yeah.
the thing is pretty much the same, but it's they just modernised it because it's brought up to modern day. But good film. Basically about a soldier who's sent to kill, and this basically soldier's gone off on one. He's gone AWOL, but it's where he is. He's gone mad.
Yeah, but not AWOL in the sense of absolutely gone fucking AWOL, and he's just gone crazy.
But and when he let's have a quick look at this. Heart of Darkness novella, Polish-English novelist Joseph Conrad, about a narrated voyage on the Congo River into the Congo Free State in the heart of Africa. There you go. But they modernised it and set it in Vietnam. Yeah. And he as the team go into the jungle, they get more and more disconnected from reality. He's questioning his sanity. What am I doing here? And then in the final act, I don't know. Have you ever sin Apocalypse Now?
I haven't
seen it in a long time, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I've never been fussed about it, to be fair.
Basically, at the end of it, he's just like he's just as mad as he is at the end of it, and he's just like, well, what the fuck was that all for? Like, no wonder the poor fucker went mad. Look at where he is, and there's a bit of he ends up like head of a tribe, and I think the tribe then look at Martin Sheen's just like, I think he's there just in like underpants and covered in blood and dirt. He's just black thing, and they're looking up and worshipping him. And like, well, you're our leader now. And it's like, well, they're going to come and kill me then, aren't they? You know, like it's a bleak ending where he's made this journey, got to the end of it, and then it's just like, I don't know what that was for. Yeah. So it's not a happy ending. And fucking let's write a song about it.
That's it, yeah.
The Heart of Darkness. I always thought this was called Heart of Darkness for some reason. It wasn't until this very week I went, hold on, like is this a mystery?
It's actually the first line as well, isn't it?
Yeah, but the lyrics is I've seen the Heart of Darkness.
I've looked into the Heart of Darkness.
Yeah,
but
I think this would have been a better title for the album than the X Factor. I don't think the X Factor's, especially now we've got the X Factor.
Yeah, it would be a good title, The Edge of Darkness. But,
Edge of Darkness or Judgment of Heaven.
Yeah. Again, it's our favourite three have collaborated again on this, and for me, this intro, I shit you not, is one of my favourite pieces of music ever. Just the mellow intro, the way it builds up, and it's so atmospheric and so fucking moody, and the way Blaze sings it, and mate, I've lost track how many times I would play the intro, stop it, play it again. I'd do that 10 or 12 times in succession because this piece of music is so majestic. I mean, the rest of the song I love, and it's one of Maiden's heaviest songs, but this intro, I'm shivering now just thinking about it. It's fucking amazing. Absolutely amazing. Putting it with decent headphones on, with no other sounds, hearing that chopper go from one side to the other, and then just hearing it kick in.
Yeah.
Kicks in like the keyboards, like the keys coming first. It's almost like piano. It's weird, but it's so good.
Again, I think this is another one that could be played with the orchestra.
Yes.
Yeah. I would fucking pay a $1.
Pay more than that.
Iron Maiden playing the X Factor in full.
Oh, mate.
You know.
Now.
Only with Bruce. So it'd be like, right, wankers, no excuse. Your boy's done it now.
Yeah, that's it.
Now you've got to listen to it.
Probably suit his voice better now as well. Now he's getting a bit older. Come down an octave or two.
Yeah.
But this is heavy as fuck, this track. And it's the main riff sounds like Hallowed.
Yeah, I noticed that actually. That was something I thought earlier actually. I quite like the lyrics of this as well.
Really good.
All I wanted was a mission, and for my sins they gave me one.
They gave me one. They bought it up just like room service.
Yeah.
Fucking brilliant. But yeah,
That's
I mean,
another thing of the at the beginning. I'm going to end up fucking talking about Apocalypse Now. Now, don't worry. I'm digressing too much.
but it's the pace of the song is insane. Nico keeps the same fucking pace all the way through for pretty much 6 minutes. It's ridiculous. No let up.
It does kind of go up and down in a lot.
It does. There's a lot of the dynamics in it are really good, and but it does. I think this has probably Blaze's finest vocal performance, and I don't know if you know the line right near the end. It's just reaching a crescendo, and he starts, "Here I am, the knife in my hand now, and now I understand why the genius must die." The way Blaze just sings it all in one breath. You listen to it again, and it just kicks back in. Fucking hell, it's awesome, absolutely awesome. And
it's great because at the time when he faces him and goes to do the deed, as the fight goes on and he's got the knife, as he brings it down, the tribe outside are sacrificing a cow.
Oh, right.
And as it cuts to the cow being chopped, so you get it's great shot. Yeah, iconic scene as well when Martin Sheen comes out of the water.
Oh yeah, I've seen that scene.
Yeah, fucking great. I'll tell you what the best thing about Apocalypse Now. I'll send you a video actually. It's the story behind the film. It was Francis Ford Coppola lost £100 whilst making it. He had a nervous breakdown. Martin Sheen had a heart attack.
Fucking.
It was meant to go. It was a 60-day shoot, and it ended up going on for 238 days. And then it took Francis Ford Coppola at the end to edit 2 years to edit 100 hours of footage into 2.
Fucking hell.
They went millions over budget before film. Harvey Keitel was actually Martin Sheen's character. 6 weeks into filming, he went "fuck you" and walked off. So they had to get Martin Sheen in and started completely again. They built this set as well out in the Philippines. It was actually filmed in the Philippines, and a storm come and blew it all down. So they built it again. Yeah, he was just going mad in the end. Like by the time it was finished, it nearly killed him.
There you
so
go.
The fact that film even got finished and became what it was unknown to
things you do for your art.
Yeah, the story behind it is fucking just as mad as the film. There was Dennis Hopper as well was like, I'm really ill and I don't know if I can carry on. And Francis Ford Coppola was like, what will it take? What can I do to your film? He went, well, a gram of coke would be the best place to start. And apparently Dennis Hopper's whole scenes in that film, he's high out of his fucking
hell.
Anyway, right. Apocalypse Now. Right. Now, you just said about the introduction. I think this is a fantastic introduction. Not 2 a.m.
It is 2 a.m.
It is 2 a.m. I was thinking of The Unbeliever for some reason.
Yeah, no.
Right.
2 a.m. Yeah, again, Bailey, Jers and Harris, they've swapped about again, but still churning out the goods.
Yeah. Again, I do love this song, but I am of the opinion now that we could have juggled things around, and I think I maybe would have sacrificed this for one of the B-sides just to loosen things up a bit.
Yeah.
But either that or I would have added those 3 songs and just made it a double album.
Double album, yes.
I think that might have been a good way round it.
No fucking around. Don't sacrifice anything because the writing session. If this is the week, I've actually made a note that this is the weakest song on the album, but it's still a killer. It's still a killer track. It's still great music. Fucking brilliant.
I mean, when it kicks in that.
Oh yeah. So good.
You know, and the notes Blaze hits on that whoa.
Yeah.
You know, and
no, it does it, mate. And like I say, if this is the weakest track on the album, then it tells you what sort of bar.
Here I am again on my own again. I mean, you can imagine obviously he was going for the divorce at the time.
Yeah.
You know, you can imagine just coming home to an empty house and.
Well, yeah, I mean, because the thing is, he's recording in his house, isn't he? He's just walking home.
Yeah, he's probably just
grounds
going stir crazy. Yeah, probably going to bed and then coming, literally probably sitting in the studio till God knows o'clock.
Yeah.
Stumbling into his bed. Bosh. I'll sit down at 2 a.m. and have a beer.
I'll get in from work at 2 a.m. and have a beer. And the thing is he walking into an empty house? Did she take the kids?
Probably.
Do you know what I mean?
9 times out of 10, yeah. And I don't know what's gone on, but
no, exactly.
Even if it was, perfectly amicable and he's only seeing her at weekends, I mean, I would fucking do my head in if I suddenly only had to see my boys at the weekend. I wouldn't know what fucking doing myself, even though they're driving mad.
But yeah, this is bleak as fuck again, but really, really good with it, isn't it? He's created greatness out of shit. And this is a great.
Yeah, I think Steve should get depressed more often because.
Yeah.
Mind you, some of the great albums when But there's nothing wrong with this song. It's not that it's a bad song in any way, but I do think the formula is getting a bit repetitive now, and it feels like I've got an album, and I know what you're going to say, but it feels like it's an album of Hallowed Be Thy Names or an album of Afraid to Shoot Strangers. It's like I don't really want an album full of that anymore than I want.
They're all pretty much mid-paced as well, aren't they? They ain't.
It starts off with a slow intro, build up, gallopy, then wind down, boom, and then it's the same thing. It's a quiet intro, build up, mid-paced, gallop. Yeah, it does get in a bit of a, and maybe I've decided I didn't know if I was going to drop a song or add a song, but what I would say now is put the 3 songs, add 3 songs, but split it into 2. This should have been a double album.
Yeah, make it a double. Yeah, go bold, go big.
Yeah.
We're back. Blaze is here, and we've got a double album for y'all.
Yeah, absolutely. So we made it. We're there.
Track 11, and it's Harris and Yannick combining yet again, as they always do, pretty much for an album closer as well. And this continues the tradition of a great album closer. Maiden rarely let you down when it comes to closing albums.
Yeah, I don't know why. I just had a complete thing. I thought that the introduction to 2 a.m. was the introduction to The Edge of Darkness, but you spoke about the intro to... Yeah, I've completely had a brain fart there. Anyway, so Unbeliever, kind of similar to... is it Blood on the World's Hands? What was the one with the bass intro? It was Blood on the World's Hands, wasn't it? Boom, boom.
Yeah, Blood on the World's Hands, yeah.
Well, you kind of get a similar sort of thing with this one, don't you? So it starts off with the old... and then you get that little... ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, now Watch with Mother. Who thought that was a good idea? I don't know. That shouldn't be in it.
I don't know. I like it, though. And I like the way the album ends with it. It's kind of like the way I said with Judgment of Heaven, it's like you've come out the other side and found the light. This one seems to end with like a little wink, like, it's all right, we got there. Yeah, that little ding, 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 ding at the end is kind of like your, right, there you go, you've made it.
Yeah.
You know, and then I had never heard it until I heard this remaster. Did you ever hear Nico?
Where?
At the end of this song.
At the end? No.
Very end, you hear the old ding, 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 ding,
yeah.
ding, 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 ding. Yeah. So you know the keyboards are turned up because now you hear, right, that's the one. Right, come on in. Let's go and have a listen.
Oh yes. Fucking hell, yeah. I don't know. Is that on the remaster?
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I know. I do remember that now. Yeah.
So we've got to go through that because Nico's done quite a few. He did the one on Power Save, isn't it? Where he goes doing the backward voice thing, taking the piss out of the whole backward voice.
Yeah, that's on Still Life, isn't it?
Yeah. Then you've got is there another one? I think you hear him cough on a song.
Yeah.
Then there's that. Right, that's it, done. Then there's the beginning of Dance of Death when he goes 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, doesn't he? And then he opens Matter of Life or Death with oh.
Yeah. But this song, I mean, fucking hell, this is 8 minutes of crazy, and
I didn't realise it was 8 minutes actually.
Yeah,
it's like a
fucking beast, mate. Absolute beast. Way to end an album. It's odd timing, isn't it? It's quite weird what Nico does with it. It's
a very odd song actually, but you know when I was saying about I've said this a few times in this series, I've been waking up with a song stuck in my head.
Yeah,
I've been waking up with this.
All right.
You can imagine my alarm going off at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Stumbling through the darkness trying to find my toothbrush. It
is, isn't it? It is a weird.
Yeah, and then it goes into this. You know, it's just fucking. It's just a weird song.
But I think it's brilliant, and I love the bits in it. I mean, what are you talking about? The pre-chorus and chorus.
I don't quite know what the chorus is on this.
Well, the pre-chorus is
oh right, yeah.
And then the chorus is all my life I've run astray.
Fucking hell, does he sing that?
Oh yeah, he does. Doesn't he? You can hear him straining it, can't you? Yeah. And
but again, that riff get
yeah, that riff is awesome. Yeah. And then it kicks into something of. I thought I was the only person in the world who had any appreciation for what happens at 3 minutes and 35 seconds when this song goes into its middle section.
Yeah.
Right. I've always said to myself, this is one of the finest pieces of music I've ever heard in my life. When Stephen Nico giving the tom fills and the bass rumbles and then the guitar comes.
This is an introduction on its own.
Yeah. And then you got that bit, that brilliant melody, and then the fucking Yannick comes in underneath, picking. And I thought I was the only person who appreciated it. I found, listening to it on YouTube, if you go onto the Maiden version, all the comments are turned off, right? You can't comment on the official Maiden version. But someone else has uploaded it, and there's fucking loads of comments. And so many people are like, oh my God, what happens at 3 minutes, 35 seconds is just pure brilliance.
Yeah.
And the solos are fucking, again, they're utterly insane. And if you notice the way that Dave and Yannick join the solos, pretty much on the same note. Davey sort of cries it out, holds a high note, and then Yannick comes in and comes in.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fucking brilliant, mate. And I've fucking the album. That's when it pisses me off when people slag this album off, because it contains, for me, some of Maiden's finest ever music. But no one knows about it because it's that shit album that Dickinson's not on.
Dickinson's not on, yeah.
Oh, stop it with that bullshit. I just can't. It makes my teeth itch. I mean, like you say, the way Blaze sings this, the way he ends it, fucking just goes for it. Goes for fucking a home run and just knocks it out.
Yeah.
But fucking great.
It's mad as well, isn't it? Because they obviously went down to playing like Brixton Academy, which is still a respectable.
Yeah.
And I've been funny, but Rolling Stones were playing at Brixton Academy around that time.
Ozzy and Sabbath played Brixton, didn't they?
Yeah. And because Bruce went in them, they ended up playing smaller venues.
They had to. No, they didn't.
Bruce Dickinson wasn't exactly selling out Wembley Stadium at this point.
No, that's it.
I mean,
Bruce was playing the
LA2.
LA2.
He played the Marquee.
On Chemical Wedding, he played the LA2.
Yeah, but Skunkworks played the Marquee.
Yeah. You know, so it was
live album there.
It was metal at the time. That's why they played Brixton.
Yeah.
It wasn't nothing to do with Bruce. It was metal at the time, was on a fucking downtrend because grunge was fucking giving it some of this.
And like I said, that podcast previously, the guy, he was there at the time. He went, I saw them on Fear of the Dark tour. He said the place was half full.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah.
I mean, I was there, like I said, I was there at Brixton. I did both their Brixton shows, this and the Virtual 11. They were on fire. Absolutely on fire. Blaze was smashing it. You know, they were fucking smashing it. They were bringing out songs you hadn't heard for years. They're playing Heaven Can Wait, for fuck's sake. You know, it was awesome hearing that.
I'd like to have been to the gig they did in Chelmsford. They played a club, which one of my bands played. If it's where I think it is, I actually played there. And it's a fucking tiny place. But they played it under a different name.
Oh, right. Oh, did one there.
To this day, it's the longest set Maiden have ever played. And I'd love to have been at that gig.
What venue was it?
I honestly can't remember, but it was in Chelmsford.
Fucking hell.
And it was with Blaze. So,
yeah,
look it up. I think they referred to it in the book as well.
I'll have to read through it.
May have been Colchester. I don't know the difference between Colchester and Chelmsford. I kind of go to one but end up in the other without knowing.
You'd have to go away.
Yeah.
But, we'll have to check it out. So
you kind of go through where we are anyway. You kind of go through one to get to the other, didn't you?
Yeah, you go through Chelmsford to get to Colchester. Yeah. Right.
And we always go. Whenever someone plays the Colchester Arts Centre, we go. Instead of going to London, we go Colchester.
Yeah,
because it's nearer, and it's not.
It ain't. It's fucking. Yeah, it's the same distance, and there's no lights on the road.
Yeah, it's like I swear I've been driving forever. Like
the A12 is a pig, isn't it?
Anyway, so we got it. We made it.
We're at the end of track 11. Now, do we rate the album now, or do we rate it after we put the B-sides on it?
Are we going to do the B-sides? We're nearly 2.5 hours in.
Yeah. So what? We've got 3. What's the point? We can't come all this way and not do them.
I suppose so. Yeah.
Because it's the only time Maiden have ever done it.
Yeah. All right.
I'll do them in order, because in the order they were on the discs anyway. Judgment Day was the first one.
Okay.
Fuck me. For me, that should have been track number 1.
Yeah.
It should have opened the album. It's another Blaze and Yannick composition, and it is fucking on fire. On fire. And as much as I love Sign of the Cross, it's one of my favourite songs ever.
Yeah, of course.
But should not have opened the album. If anything, that should have ended the album. For me.
If that had ended the album, it would have been the band's Cathedral Spires.
Yes.
Imagine if on Jugulator they opened with Cathedral Spires.
Yeah, fuck you, yeah.
But following Painkiller up with that, it'd have been completely.
Yeah. But yeah, Judgment Day for me should have opened the album. I mean, it's a fucking awesome song.
Yeah, I'm just trying to picture it in my head.
Oh, the solos,
because it's kind of got like a bollocks.
It sort of starts off like Quick or Be
Dead. It's got kind of like a Quick or Be Dead vibe going on, isn't it?
Fucking hell, it's insane. And it's constant. It don't let up. And the solo section, I tell you, is off the chart. They do 4 solos. They don't just do 2. They don't do 1 each. They trade off. 1, 2. You can hear them in speakers, because that's the good thing about this album is that if you listen to it, the solos are separated out. Dave's one side, Yannick's the other. Instead of just having it all in the centre, they're actually spread out and you can hear them. But yeah, they fucking just insanity. I mean, it's a great song. And no one's fucking heard it because it's on the B-side of a single that no one bought because they didn't like it. You know? It's such a waste of a song. It should have been on it. And this is what you were saying earlier, case in point. This would have helped break up that.
I don't know if this should have opened the album, but I think it should have opened disc 2.
Yeah.
Definitely. I think this would have been like a good... If they had closed disc 1 with Sign of the Cross, so then add that, and then bang! With disc 2, yeah. That would have worked. Or maybe Blood on the... After the war, what does... End with something bleak.
Yeah, the Aftermath.
And then with like a quiet intro, ringing out. And well, they all fucking have that.
Yeah.
But then, right, this 2. Bang! Yeah, this would have been good. Definitely.
Yeah, I mean...
I think I would have opened the album... If I was going to juggle them about, I probably would have opened with Lord of the Flies, I think. No. I'll take that back. Maybe Man on the Edge and then Lord of the Flies.
Yeah, I think of the songs that are actually on the album, Man on the Edge is a better choice.
Yeah.
But I think this should.
Right, we're in.
Yeah.
And then. I reckon they would definitely work on a live set.
Yeah.
Opening with Man on the Edge.
Well, they did. They opened
and then
with Man
straight
on the Edge.
into you know, light on one guitarist.
Hang on, I'm just going to check. Just going to check what they did because I know they opened with Man on the Edge.
Have you ever seen the video where I think it's in Chile where Blaze loses his rag?
No, I ain't seen that.
Well, they say it's all Blaze loses his rag and Blaze this and Blaze that, but what no one ever seems to mention is that Steve is next to Blaze doing his fucking bollocks.
Oh, right.
So they're playing. I'll send you the video, but they're playing the Trooper. And if you could watch the whole concert at the beginning, someone's spitting at the stage.
Oh, fuck.
You can imagine it's probably someone spitting at Blaze, going, "You're not Bruce." Why the fuck you would pay your money to go there? But people do it.
Oh, they do, don't they, tricks?
I know people, talk about her, but Courtney Love. There's a video of Courtney Love where she's having a go at some of the audience. She's like, "What are you doing here? You paid your fucking money to slag me off. Yeah, well done. Right. What? You've slagged me off. Now fuck off.
Yeah.
But it's funny, like people pay to get into a thing.
Just to abuse people.
Anyway, at the end of the first song, so Man on the Edge, he's trying to talk, but he's English. He's like, "No more. Stop. No. Finito. Stop it now." He goes, "Them up there will be down here, and you will be gone." Like. Anyway, the concert goes on, but then they're doing the Trooper. I'll send you this thing of the Trooper, and he starts off, but then he just sort of drops, and you see him like looking out into the crowd, and he's just whoa, But then Steve is next to him playing, and he's looking like piercing, and they're both just playing the Trooper. But both of them,
both look,
are just, and Steve's just, staring.
Yeah.
As soon as the song finishes, Steve runs off, throws his bass on the floor, and goes right up to the thing, goes, and he's going, "Who the fuck did it?" Like you can see him swearing, and he's going, "Hit me in the face." Steve's going to hit me, like he's pointing to his face, and you see Blaze going, "I'll fucking kill you." He's going, "But it's at him, fucking get him." He's going, it's thing, but they're all going, "Blaze is losing his rag." It's like, yeah, but Steve's losing his rag just as much. Yeah. But Blaze has got the mic, so from the thing, it looks like someone's spitting on him. Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah, I'll have to look it up and send you it.
Yeah. And they started with Man on the Edge and went into Rothschild.
Oh right, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Rothschild is the good second song.
It's a pretty good set, actually.
Yeah, I've got it on. I've got a DVD of the track thing from that tour. I don't know if I've got any CDs of it, but I've got a gig from that tour on a bootleg DVD.
Yeah, no,
funnily enough, it's that show. I've got Live in Chile on DVD, and I've got Live in Brazil on the Virtual 11 tour.
Yeah.
I think that was on MTV.
I'll tell you what I did find. The Brixton show from Virtual 11 is on YouTube.
Is it good?
The video quality is abysmal, but the sound quality is really good.
Oh, okay.
It'd be a worthwhile bootleg.
There was a YouTube channel, actually. I've not had nothing come up in ages. So maybe it got cancelled. Maybe it got taken off.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you go down you can go down a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Find all sorts of false shows. But yeah, right. We better get cracking.
Yeah.
Right.
Justice of the Peace. Dave Murray. He's been conspicuous by his absence on this album.
Oh yeah.
But he wrote this with Steve Harris, and it's another Dave Murray banger, isn't it?
Yeah, I like this song. I do really like this song.
It's got a really good fucking. I love the lyrics. I love the way the opening lyrics. Have you heard on the news? Another let off madman, another screw on the loose. Is it the judge or the madman? I think that's a fucking brilliant lyric.
Mm.
But you know, as again, it's just what we were talking about. Steve really didn't like the world in 1995. Sounds like Dave didn't like it either.
Well, you know, it's the sort of after the chorus. I remember, you know, we could leave our doors open. Everyone knew everyone. Yeah. Those days are gone. Well, they certainly are.
They certainly, they got done and fucking gone and dead, mate. But I love the music in this. Fucking hell, what's the? Trying to think of the riff. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's really good. It's quite different for Davey as well. It's not just balls to the wall. There's actually a bit of restraint there. When you think the last one he wrote, Judas Be My Guide, that's just fucking 100 miles an hour, isn't it?
That's become one of my favourite Maiden songs. That was my undiscovered gem.
Oh yeah, that's a beats to the tune, mate. We could do a show just on Dave. You could do an album of Dave Murray songs.
We've said, haven't we? Yeah, we'll put together a live set, just Dave Murray.
Fuck it hell. But
Justice of the Peace is definitely up there.
Yeah, I mean, should have been on there. I mean, I don't know why. Perhaps they're too upbeat. Steve wanted a certain.
Even if you just put one extra. I mean, I know CD space, but. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, the more you look at it,
I would have sacrificed one of the longer songs just to loosen things up a bit.
The more you look at it, the more it screams double album, doesn't it? You know.
Yeah. And none of the B-sides are bad, so they could have found it. Should
in fact, the worst one is obviously the last one, the one that was on the vinyl, I Live My Way. But even that's saying it's the worst one. It's because it's totally different to the others.
Yeah.
Written by Steve. Blaze and Yannick in that order again. It's surprisingly upbeat.
You've still got the quiet intro though, haven't you?
Yeah, you have, yeah. But even though it's a different, when it kicks in with old Blaze giving
it's all right,
and all that, and it's quite melodic. And basically, you know, I live my way. Maybe for today, don't care what they say. Just positive. This is come out the other side lyrics. You know, I'm not doing
like the chorus with the strumming. Just
oh yes, awesome, isn't it? Really melodic, yeah. But no, another, you know, probably one of the weaker songs from the writing. But if this is your weakest song you're churning out, your fucking bar's up there, isn't it?
Yeah, they were definitely inspired at their time. They were obviously enjoying what they were doing.
Yes.
They had, you know, when Bruce announced that he was leaving, he obviously put them on a downer. But then at the end, they were like, no, fucking, let's get this tour over with. Go on, fuck off.
Yeah, we want to crack on.
You know, you think you're a cut above us, so, you know. Yeah. And then they were obviously, you know, genuinely inspired by Blaze. And I think he did give them his enthusiasm of being a fan whose dreams come true, basically, you know.
Yeah, that's it.
He grabbed it with both hands. He did his best, and, you know, he was fucking brilliant on this album. And this is a genuinely great album. And, I've often said, you know, I would have said, this is a 10 out of 10 album. And maybe lately I've gone, maybe it's an 8 or a 9. But as time's gone by, I can kind of see why someone might not get on with this album as much as I did, because it took me a long time to appreciate it fully. And it spent a long time listening to it again and again and again. And this is kind of like the distinction level of Iron Maiden. This isn't a casual Maiden fan.
No, this
album.
is.
Yeah. This isn't the one to start with, certainly. This is it's Maiden in their purest form in a lot of ways. Yeah. And it's definitely a Steve Harris album.
Oh yeah,
and it's Maiden taking a certain element of their sound and going full force with it.
Yeah.
Seeing where it leads.
Yeah, and
this is the prog.
Yes, this is what leads
to fully explored, fully fledged,
and this is what leads to what started on Seventh Son, culminates here, but then gives them that bold for when, obviously, in 5 years' time, where they really fucking launch.
Well, New Maiden started here.
Yes, I mean,
everyone thinks New Maiden starts with Brave New World. It didn't. It started here.
No, that's what I'm saying. It started in 2000. Is 5 years' time between this and Brave New World. This is what gave them. It's why they went the way they did, because of this. And you know, for me, like I say, this is a very important album for me. This was my first New Maiden album, and it will always hold a special place in my heart. And You know, rating it with my heart, it gets 10 out of 10. And in fact, I ain't fucking about. Rated with my head, it gets 10 out of 10 as well.
Yeah. I was originally thinking maybe I could say, maybe it needs a bit of a break and a bit of a breather. So chuck in Justice of the Peace halfway through might be a nice little palate cleanser. But now, the more I've sort of
you're not docking it points because of the way it's way it's all.
Now I'm just going, no, actually, let's add songs to it and make it a double album. I've gone from in the space of this conversation. I've gone from no, because there's no songs that really need docking.
No.
I just think maybe it could have been juggled around a little bit. But you know, its imperfection is what makes it what it is.
Yeah.
It's a bit like Alien 3.
Yeah. Yes.
It's
that
flawed as that film was, and how far away from its original vision it was, it became this great little film on its own, with so much going on and so much subtexts going on in the thing. And then you got the director's cut, which again, the director's cut isn't a casual fans film. That's the people that are really interested. Want to go one level further. So I think this is what this album is. It's for a Maiden fan, a diehard Maiden fan.
It is.
Yeah. And if you're willing to make that bit of effort and spend a bit more time with it, get over the fact that Bruce saying on it. This is a fucking phenomenal album.
It is a phenomenal album, and it fully deserves its 10 out of 10. Yeah. And it should be revered. And I hope when the time comes, people do look at it again and they go, you know what, we were fucking wrong. And it needs people to say that.
And not only that as well.
I would gladly be standing there going, I fucking told you so.
Yeah. And not only that as well. Again, this guy in that channel made this point, but it's like, right, if you don't like the fact that if Bruce Dickinson isn't in the band now, or whoever the band is, I like the old singer. This new singer, I'm not getting on with, and I'm out. Fair enough. Yeah. But Bruce is back now.
Yeah. So give this a chance. So go back and listen to this.
And you listening to it now? Exactly. Oh, I don't like it, Bruce. Yeah, but Bruce is back now, so you can listen to it.
That's it.
You know, and I think he even play. He introduced a song from this album once. I think this was the first tour he did when he'd gone back. And he went, this next song is... I can't remember what song it was, but it was an error from this.
Yeah.
And the crowd started groaning or booing. And Bruce went, if we're fucking big enough to play it, you're big enough to listen to it.
I do recall.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't remember what the song was, but that first tour, he opened with Aces High and then went straight into Future Real.
Yeah, and I think they played
on the Edge on that tour as well.
Man on the Edge, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, Bruce, and this is the thing as well. Bruce has always been great to Blaze. Like he's always complimented him. He says even I think Silicon Messiah is a fucking great album. He's even said I think Blaze was treated quite unfairly. Actually, he weren't given a fair crack. So yeah.
There you go, people.
I've got Virtual 11 to do next. Hell, how long's that going to take? Mind you, we've got like half the amount of music. We've got 8 songs.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And it's really. I know we got well. Did we get any B-sides with this? No.
No, this is the only time Maiden done it. Wrote more than needed.
Doctor and My Generation.
But covers. You know, not original compositions. But no, mate. I think we've thoroughly dissected, and that's a good term to use considering the Eddie on the front.
Yeah, exactly. I was just thinking that.
Thoroughly dissected this album, and hopefully, if anyone listens to this, hopefully they'll go back and revisit it and take on board what we said. You know, if you agree, let us know. If you disagree, let us know even more, because we want this album is one of them albums that you need to talk about.
Yeah, and even if you don't like it, fuck it. At least you gave it a try. Exactly. And if you've made it to the end of this episode, then you are a diehard fan. But this is what we've been building up
for this,
to this album, and this era of the bands, you know, be it Maiden or what the Bruce and Adrian are doing outside the band as well. Because again, we've got Skunk Works coming up next week. Then we've got Accident of Birth. Then we've got the second Psycho Motel album. Then we've got Virtual 11. Then we've got Chemical Wedding, and this is
Fucking hell, there's
the
some
buried treasure is in
Yeah,
this
big
next couple of weeks. So,
big time.
as always, thank you very much for listening, everyone. Again, congratulations. I think we there was a lot to go through on this album, but I'm glad we got there and done it.
Mate.
So, yeah, thanks a lot, everyone, and we'll see you all next week. Take care.
Laters.